Hello folks, welcome back to the podcast. This week we're sponsored by Ultimate Add-ons. Ultimate Add-ons are the premier manufacturer of mobile phone and action camera mounting solutions for motorcycles, with a kit for any bike and a proven track record of creating products that keep your devices safe, secure and easily accessible. The Ultimate Add-ons product range is ideal for any rider from the commuter to the round-the-world adventurer. Why shell out on an expensive GPS system when you could use your smartphone, keeping it charged and within reach to take photos of your travels at the same time? Ultimate Add-ons waterproof, shockproof and dustproof tough cases are available for all flagship smartphone models and are designed by riders for riders. Find out why Ride Magazine gives Ultimate Add-ons their coveted Best Buy certification. Keep riding this winter with Ultimate Add-ons. It's all about the journey. And folks, if you go to the Ultimate Add-ons website and use code TeapotOne10, you will get 10% off. I use Ultimate Add-ons. It's in all, the phone holder is in all of my bike review vids. Some people have said recently with the new iPhone 11 Pro cases that they have started to experience some issues with the camera on vibration. Ultimate Add-ons are looking into that now as we speak, so keep an eye on that on your phones, folks. I personally, no issues at all. All right, folks, on with the podcast. This week, we've got the band back together. So we have the Missenden Flyer, LambChops Rides, and RIchy Vida. Dicky Vegas makes an appearance. Unfortunately, Rich was having a few issues with his Wi-Fi, so there is quite a lag throughout. Thankfully, Rich recorded it on his own camera and own audio, so his is perfect. But you'll see through the conversation, a lot of the time we're talking over where Rich is speaking. It's purely because we couldn't hear anything at our end. We weren't ignoring him, I promise. As usual, it's a great crack. I hope you'll enjoy. Episode 30, the Westlife reunion.
We've got a bit of a delay going on, haven't we?
Rich, I don't know if everybody else can hear Rich, all right? But
you're quite muffled to me too. I'll just put my mask on the entire time.
Yeah, he is a little bit muffled. You're a bit muffled, Rich.
Well, if you can...
Are you on dial-up?
No, I'm on 4G because I'm in the garage and it connects to my Wi-Fi. My extender connects to the house and it's constantly bouncing from this router to that router. So I've just put it onto 4G.
Extender.
Can you hear me all right?
To be honest, the fact that he's here at all is a bonus. The fact that we can't hear him is probably, every cloud has a silver lining, isn't it?
Right, let me double check. I'm recording the Zoom as a backup. Is everybody recording their own video and audio,
yep,
or
yep,
are we just?
We've given up with that, Bruce. Come on now.
All right,
do be serious.
So it's just you, Rich, then, is it?
Yeah, I'm recording it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, magic. Okay then, right, we'll sync all this up. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Folks, welcome to Brew Time. We got the band back together. Someone pointed out it's a Westlife reunion.
I did.
The boys. Was it you?
No, I said that someone.
Quite witty for you, that, Rich.
Someone had said it's just like Westlife. I've even got a chair to stand up off. For the during the key change.
You'll start singing in a minute. Flying without wings. Go on, Rich.
That was actually the song I was thinking of as well. It's just nice listening to you sing.
Sadly, me and John are too old to even know what you're talking about.
No idea what they're on about.
You two suck your Werther's originals in the corner.
You have 100% been to one of their concerts, Andy. I know you have.
He has, hasn't he? Andy's actually got a t-shirt, I'm sure he has. Either that or a Westlife embossed butt plug somewhere secreted.
I'm not going to engage in that sort of behaviour.
Hang on, just hold it onto Andy's screen a minute. Let me see if there's one there behind him lurking around.
Someone's actually...
I can't hear Rich. He's in a terrible... The sound quality is awful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Someone's commented on that, haven't they? They've said, I've been looking and I've noticed this distinct lack of butt plugs in the background of any of your vids of late.
Not looking close enough.
Just pulled out Andy's ass.
Always have one at hand. You never know when you might need one.
Genius. Right, boys. We have... There's over 100 questions have come in.
God.
So I reckon we just crack on and try and get
There's not a chance in hell we're getting through those.
No, I know. First off, what tipples have you got? Has everyone got a little tipple of choice?
Well, since
I'm on the Bulmers tonight.
Since I got smashed on our last one, Bruce, I just treated myself to a good old English speckled hen. That's it tonight. So that's it.
What about the whiskey? You told me you had a bottle of whiskey as well.
Oh, Glenmorangie as well.
What about you, Andy?
I've gone a bit girly actually with a new tipple for me. Some of this stuff, I don't know if you come across it, but it's
no,
Desperado. It's how I feel when I talk to you lot.
It's awesome. That stuff is lethal. You'll just knock it back and then wake up in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah, horrible.
It's funny you should say that because it says it's got tequila in it, but it just tastes like lager and lime to me.
Yeah,
but it goes down very well indeed.
Deceptive.
Don't have too many of them.
I've got some orange juice.
You'll end up
slash.
Cheers.
Knocking Mrs. Flyer to bits in a bit.
He'll wake up and he won't be able to find that butt plug.
Hi, Mrs. Flyer.
Right, gents. Let's just crack on with questions and see where that takes us. How about that?
Let's go for it.
Sounds like a plan.
Beautiful, righto. Right, folks, as usual, start off over on Patreon, patreon.com/TeapotOne. First one, Aaron McCloy. A simple one to get started. What's everyone's plans for next year, COVID permitting? Cool.
No plans whatsoever.
Plans. How can you make plans? You can't, can you?
No.
You
It's
might
just
have
been
a
a
wish
nightmare.
list, but nothing planned for me. That's for sure.
Have you
We
not?
learned this year, didn't we? I had such great plans for this year, and it all went south, as I'm sure it did for everybody. So no plans because we'll just be disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, then. What if, let's just say COVID sorts its life out and we're no longer all going to die. So if that isn't an issue, what's your plans for next year?
Sorry about this, Bruce, but we are all going to die. I'll just make that point clear.
Well, but okay. Let's say you manage to live through next year. What are you going to do, bike-wise?
Just get as far and wide as possible for me.
Nobody's saying anything. Right, my plans, I'm going to do the States. You what?
I say I'm craving getting away massively.
Me and all. I've got my fingers crossed for a trip to the Canaries in December because that's come off the quarantine list. So literally that night managed to get a week booked with a couple of people. So at the moment we're off to the Canaries for a week. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
Might be a bit of overlap there, Bruce. I might see you on the last day.
Oh, fantastic. You coming as well, Andy? Brilliant.
Well, we're talking about it, so we'll see. I hope so. It'd be great to see you.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, that would be awesome. Nice one. I might see if I can stay a bit then. Right, what was I saying? Yeah, next year for me, I meant to do it this year, but obviously couldn't. It'll be a tour of the States, India if I can, and I think that's all.
What are you doing in India, Bruce?
Myself.
India? What's going on in India?
Watch your guts, mate.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I just want to do a week or 10 days over there just riding.
If your guts are bad over here, how are you going to get on in India?
Talk about a glut for punishment.
Definitely.
Andy, I might need to borrow something that you've got.
Well, you lent it to me. It's about time I sent it back.
Yeah, so in an ideal world, money and COVID and life permitting, that's my plans for next year. Anyone got anything that they want to chat about or not?
I don't want to set my heart into it.
Definitely, let's hope that we all get to Spain because Lyndon needs some love, doesn't he? Because his business is effectively shut down for a year. So let's try and do that for sure. I'm hoping to get to the US if I can, again, COVID permitting. And I'm hoping some of the things that were delayed from this year get to happen. And also, I'm desperate to do some more UK tours. I've just let those. I've not paid attention enough to the sort of local stuff. And there's so much great riding to be done here if you get the weather right. As my recent Wales tour taught me, I want to see if I can get back to the Scottish Western Isles, maybe the Wild Atlantic Way on Ireland. That's something we want to do for ages. So there's plenty to do, isn't there? Just not enough time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's do the Wild Atlantic Way together.
Yeah. That could be a good little challenge ride, couldn't it? That could be somewhere to do rather than doing something like the North Coast 500. That could be a goodie.
Yeah. North
Coast.
Coast.
Have you done the North Coast 500, Bruce?
Oh God, yeah, loads, yeah. Yeah, it's great.
I apologise for asking.
I did do it in a day. I did it in a day on one of my vids. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually. I think that's something I might do next year. Get a few bikes, Northwest 500, have a trip round. It looks fantastic. Never done it, so I think that could be for me.
I tell you what a lot of
I'm planning anything overseas because it's not going to happen, is it?
What a lot of people gloss over, including me. My last little trip was up to Northumberland, and it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. North Yorkshire Moors, Dales, and Northumberland. Like, I kind of always glossed over it. You kind of go through it to get to Scotland and just think, let's go Scotland. Yeah. But honestly, it was absolutely amazing. And I definitely want to be going back there and putting more attention into that area.
Funny you should say that, Rich, because Northumberland was on my target list. There's that, it's Kielder Water, isn't it, up there? You can do that ride round it, I think.
We did it. Well, it's like a 10-mile long track, off-road track. Not really an off-road track, but it's fantastic. Right through the centre of the forest.
I did that actually on a bicycle a couple of years ago, and it was fantastic. Not sure I'd fancy it on a Goldwing, but we'll see.
Yeah. I was trying to keep the Africa Twin upright all the way through it.
You did it on a push bike, Andy?
Yeah, it was. I did it with the family. It was great, actually. It took us pretty much all day, and it started to rain towards the end, but it was a really good... But we thought, erroneously, that because it was around a lake, it would be flat.
It was very different.
That wasn't the case.
Yeah, I've said this in the podcast before. I don't know where it's come from, but I've got this little inkling to cycle around the UK. I don't know where it came from, but I think it might happen. So we'll see.
What, with your trouble? I think
India,
and then cycling around the UK. You're storing up some bad stuff, mate.
Well, clients have just brought out some electric bikes, Bruce. You might be all right.
Well, watch this space is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've got it covered in December.
You can't keep a secret, can you? Can't keep a secret.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Pretty bad, Chopsy. Yeah, that was pretty bad for keeping a secret there.
Right, everyone get a video before him. Everybody. Right, next question. Dave Moore. To all, and I ask this in the hope of some embarrassing tales, what's the dumbest way that you've been injured on or indeed off a bike? The dumbest way I've been injured.
I've got a funny one.
I broke... Ooh. Go on, Rich.
It's not bike related. I hope he means that, on or off the bike, so not bike related. But I broke my metacarpal a few years ago, a good few years ago now, actually. So I've got a titanium plate in there now. It was quite... completely...
Oh, get you, titanium plate.
Yeah.
Completely...
Still punches like a girl.
Completely the wrong person. But I were in a pub with my other half, and this fella came up talking to me saying, I want to wait outside. I'm like, what? I want to chat outside. I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. I went outside and he's like, have you been messaging my mum? I'm like, what? And I said, mate, listen, calm down a bit. He got full on aggression, big muscles coming out and everything. I said, mate, calm down. First of all, you're about 12 years old, which didn't really help him. And then anyway, he took a massive swing at me to try and knock me out, and I managed to duck out of the way, but he hit my hand, which broke my metacarpal. So he thought I was sleeping with his mum. Not even me.
I think we all know the truth there, don't we, everybody?
Then you battered him, Rich, did you?
I just walked away laughing and going,
what, because you were sleeping with his daughter?
Yeah, his daughter, his mum.
Oh, dear. But anyway, that's my daft one.
Go on then, John, have you got one?
Well, I broke my ankle doing a bit of off-road on the supermoto, didn't I? That was probably the most stupid thing I've done on a bike anyway, and managed to break something.
That's your own stupid fault for going off-road, that's all I'm going to say.
I know, that's what happens. Especially with the wrong tyres. Don't recommend it with the wrong tyres on.
Andy?
Well, I've got... it's actually a story that is from it's kind of two-wheel related in that he was on a push bike. It's a mate I used to work with who actually worked for MI5, but I may have told you this story before, but he suffered something called a scrotal degloving, which has always made me wince a little bit thinking about it. And basically he'll now never ride a cycle without wearing proper cycling shorts. He went over a bump on his racing bike and basically banged his gonads, and basically the skin on his testicles came off. And he looked in his underpants. He said it was like looking at a couple of chicken breasts out of Sainsbury's. It sounded absolutely outrageous. God. So that's the nastiest thing I've heard of will injury that was a bit emembarrassing.
What was the technical term?
You had to get passers-by to help him and show them what was going on. So I mean, that's pretty embarrassing, isn't it?
What's the technical term again, Andy?
What's it called?
Scrotal degloving.
Degloving.
Wow. Do you know what I was saying about cycling around the UK? Get that.
Nope. Wear some cycling shorts, mate, and a nappy.
Wow. Right, the dumbest injury. When I was about 13, 14, I used to fly radio control planes. Oh, hello. And I started the plane. It was great fun. And I started the plane up, and I put my hand on the sort of front, the cockpit area to hold the plane.
The propeller, Bruce.
Well, that's the next bit. And I brought rather than bring my hand up and over the propeller, I brought it straight through, and I basically almost took off my thumb and that finger, so I had to go and get it all stitched all back up together. So that's probably the most stupid injury I've had.
Actually, on a similar vein, now you remind me, I did once catch my drone when I was doing my Arctic Circle trip. Rather than land it, I decided I would catch it because I thought it looked cool. And God, that hurt.
What? It hit your? You hit your thumb with it? You hit your fingers with it?
As I grabbed for the little body, I've got the Mavic Air, which is quite a small drone, isn't it? And as I brought it down, I went to grab it. Of course, the sensors move it away from your hand, so I sort of grabbed at it hard, and I got all 4 props in my fingertips, and it destroyed all my fingertips. It was horrible. And then I had to ride like that.
Yeah, you're lucky that you blooming kept them intact. Wow. There you go then, Dave. Next one. Stephen Gibbons. To you all, other than a mobile phone card, what's the one piece of kit you carry with you? I think we've had this before. With you all the time that you couldn't do without. Also, when I'm riding on an hour or so in a journey, my palms and wrists start to ache and feel numb. What am I doing wrong? I've weights on the bars, no vibration in bars, and the bike rides very smooth. Well, I think we've already covered the what piece of kit, didn't we? I think the last time we covered all that. Yeah. And he always has the butt plug, obviously.
I find
so riding on a long journey.
The pins and needle thing, if you just loosen your glove cuff a little bit, that seems to help. I don't know if he's tried that.
Loosen the glove?
Loosen up the cuff on your glove, and it makes it not as bad.
Oh, okay. So. I kind of like... I don't know if you've ever been in the forces when you have to stand at like attention for any length of time, and you wiggle your toes just to try and keep the blood going in your feet. Well, I sort of do the same with my fingers as I'm riding. Just relax your grip and just move your fingers around, and that sort of keeps the blood going. What about you, boys?
Or take the elastic bands off your wrists. That helps.
Or take the elastic bands off. Yeah. Or just stop and shake your hands a bit.
Yeah.
I think he's probably holding on too tight, isn't it? You need to be quite loose on the bike, don't you? He's probably holding on to the bars too tightly rather than just.
Yeah, you definitely got to have a conscious effort to try and release that grip a bit. Definitely.
Grip the bike with your thighs.
He didn't say what sort of bike it was, does he? Because if it's a sports bike, then let's face it, we pretty much all get a bit of arm ache after a while on a sports bike.
Yeah, you will do.
But and also maybe he's not gripping the tank with his legs enough, because that does help a lot. I find when I'm on my Panigale, gripping the tank makes a lot of difference to your arms.
Absolutely, yeah. They all say, don't they, that you shouldn't actually be putting any. You shouldn't be holding on to the bars. You should just have enough grip on it to give slight input into the bars, and that's it.
Unless it's a Super Duke, then hold on.
Or that Rocket 3.
Or the Rocket, yeah. Jesus Christ, yes, the Rocket.
Yeah. There you go, Stephen. Try that, mate. Just try loosening up the grip a wee bit and try gripping the bike with your thighs. Well, like a little bit like if you've ever ridden a horse. Grip with your thighs, and your whole top part of your body should be nice and relaxed. Give that a bash. See how you get on.
Maybe that's something we should all have a go at.
Horse riding. Just shut up. Do you know how many people are going to go, yeah, that's a good idea.
You're usually the one coming up with stupid ideas.
Enough for Bruce.
When I was a young lad, my girlfriend at the time when I was at school, Sandra McIntyre, she was right into horse riding, so I ended up having to go horse riding one time with her, and I'm not kidding you, we turned up at this stable and they brought this. It was like a Clydesdale. This thing was enormous. It was like that horse from Troy, you know, where the whole army gets in it. This thing was enormous. And it just looked at me like, I'm going to have fun with you, wee man. I had to get on this thing. And it just did what it wanted. I had no control over that thing in the slightest.
I think that's the thing. As a biker,
I've done a little bit of horse riding.
As a biker, you're wanting to be in charge, aren't you? So you're wanting to steer it.
Yeah.
And the horse is going... Definitely. I can walk.
Yeah, it'll do what it likes, yeah. What was that, John? What were you saying?
I've done a bit of horse riding before. My missus as well, she's actually got part sharing a horse at the moment, and she did have up to 3 horses at one point. So I have actually been out and done a bit of horse riding. I know. I've done a little bit, and it's not easy. We went out. I've never really done it, and she booked us a day's horse riding around Devon somewhere, and my arse has never been so sore than a day on the back of a horse. That trip around Spain was a piece of cake compared to riding a horse for the day.
I was going to say, I think there's video evidence suggesting that your arse has been in a lot more pain. Yeah. But wow,
me arse.
I'm going to say, hang on a minute. How long has it taken for Chops to start talking about his arse? 10 minutes? 15 minutes?
23 minutes, is it?
I love that comment you made, Chops, on your review of the Super Duke R, and you got the seat off, and you're like, look, I can just fist its arse.
You sure that was the Super Duke?
Which channel was this?
Oh, sorry. That were your OnlyFans channel.
OnlyFans, brilliant. LambChops like that. Right, next one.
Proud to be part of it, Chops.
Got to make a living, haven't you? You got to make a living.
That's it.
I cannot believe we've been on here all of 5 minutes and you guys are already talking about fisting.
Hang on, you had the butt plug out in about the first opening minute.
But you were the ones that raised it.
Well, true. It's true. Next question. Darren Creswell. Drum roll. Has Dicky Anus turned up? He's here. Dicky Anus. Good man. He made it.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you very much.
One for Andy. Mrs. Flyer.
Only just, may I add?
What's that?
I say only just, may I add?
One for Andy. Mrs. Flyer says, right, enough is enough. You can only have one new bike, money no object. What do you choose and why?
I love the way that he implies that Mrs. Flyer has to give her approval first. He is, of course, dead right. And I assume that implies I can only have one single bike. I can't keep the bikes that I've got. Is that correct?
I think if you want to keep one of the ones you've got, then fine, as long as you can justify it.
Right. Well, I mean, if I can only have one bike, it's an obvious answer, Bruce. You know the answer. It's got to be a GS, isn't it?
Super Duke. Oh, sorry, yeah, the GS. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, simple answer. A GS. Definitely. It's got to be that, and she would approve of that too.
I kind of agree with you. Yeah, if it's for obviously I'm going to say that if it's an all singing, all dancing bike, absolutely. If it's for shits and giggles, Super Duke R for me.
Yeah, but if you can only have one bike and you've got to do everything on it, I was going to say ride to work and stuff, but you don't do that anymore, do you? Then the Super Duke R might not be good.
Yeah, that'll be all right. That'll be all right to commute. It's just things like for that odd, horrible time when you actually have to come off tarmac and do stuff in that sticky, horrible off-road shit. Then the GS will allow you to do that. And if you have to do 600 miles or 1,000 miles in a day, then it's reasonably comfortable and easy to do it on something like the GS. So,
couldn't agree more.
What would you go for, John?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It wouldn't be a GS. It wouldn't be. It could be the Super Duke GT. No, you could be talking there. So I think it probably would be, if it was to do everything on. Yeah, I think it'd be the Super Duke GT. To be honest, I did love that bike as a do everything thing. It's only slightly less engaging and fun than the whole full fat Super Duke, I thought. Yeah, and there's a new one next year, I believe, which could be even closer to the new R. Ooh. So.
Does that do off-road, though?
Well, you said that going off-road, but you hate off-road. You say, the GS, just in case I come across a bit of... How often do you don't even go off-road on it, so you can just outrule the whole off-road thing.
You might have to eat your words very soon. Very soon.
Having the option taken away from you, though.
But not often enough to have a bike for it. I could live without that.
Can't we all? It's a nightmare game. I'm with Bruce on that.
What about you, Rich?
No, I love just being able to... I prefer on road, but I do love being able to just nip off piste for a little bit. Just, having that option to do it without having to worry about it. So, you know how much I love the Africa Twin. So, probably the Africa Twin or a GS, yeah. I mean, perfect bikes for road riding, perfect bikes for off-roading, just in case you fancy it. Oh, and they both of them look amazing.
The Africa Twin, DCT or standard transmission?
DCT, 100%. Without question.
Would you? No worries, Andy.
Yep.
See, I can see, I like the DCT in certain situations, but there's others in the really tight nadgery stuff, hairpins and that. I didn't like the way the DCT, even if I used the old paddles, say I've used the paddles and I've gone into second for a hairpin, sometimes as I would whack the throttle on, just as it's like an uphill tight hairpin, it would decide, no, you're not in second, you're going for first, and it would drop it to first, and it would like unsettle the whole bike. I didn't like that.
But doesn't it just take half the fun and the engagement out of riding a bike, having an automatic bike? It's just one of the reasons I don't really like electric bikes, because there's no gearbox, and it's just like, I haven't tried it.
He's old school, isn't he?
You shouldn't comment until you've tried it, admittedly.
Yeah, exactly. When you're spanking that DCT, it's so engaging. You know, when you're slotted in with it, and I always have it in Sport 2 or 3, which holds the gears a long time, but I'm constantly interfering with it with the pedals. So I always like, I'm like one step ahead when it comes into corner, so I drop it just before we go in. And it never does anything I don't want it to do, but I've probably, because I've had it for such a long time, and I think I've had it for about 4 years, but don't tell Honda UK. I think I've had it for about 4 years now, so I absolutely love it, and I'm fully like locked in with how the gearbox is. I love it. So I think it's just one of those things you spend some time with.
It's like a quick shift and a blipper almost. So I think a bit like a quick shift and a blipper more than an automatic. So you're still banging it up and down when you want to and stuff like that. Okay.
So you've never ridden with a DCT gearbox?
No, never. No, not tried it. It's never appealed, so I haven't. So I need to try it.
You've got to try it.
You've got to try it. Yeah, it didn't appeal to me, but you've got to try it. The DCT
I'd love you to be
itself,
a convert on that, Chops.
The DCT itself, like the normal drive and the sport mode, I just didn't like. I did the first ride in that, and I didn't know about the S2 and S3 because I didn't do that online tutorial thing that Honda give you to do. So I was like, I don't need to do a tutorial before I go and ride a bike.
Before you ride the Africa Twin, you do, don't you? You ain't got a clue otherwise.
Well, I didn't. So, like in my first ride review, I'm watching it now, having had the bike for like 4 or 5 weeks and taking it away and enjoying everything it does. I'm editing the first ride review, and I'm screaming at the screen, going, "Put it in S2, put it in, use the paddles."
Exactly, yeah.
Because
the drive is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just. It's
drive is completely
ridiculous. A damn squib of a bike until you put it in S2 or S3, and then when you find the Tronic paddles, that's a game changer. But it will still butt in sometimes. I didn't like that in the tight stuff, and I didn't like the big 21-inch front wheel either. I couldn't get used to that. I didn't feel totally connected with the road. It's just something I just,
you said that,
didn't like. It's a good bike.
The fact that you need an online tutorial to ride the bike, for me, the Africa Twin is a great bike, but it was better in its previous incarnation before it went nuts, all that electronics. That just spoiled it for me.
Yeah, I think. Well, I've ridden the previous carnation and the manual over in Slovenia with Canary Moto Tours over there, and for the first ride, didn't really like it. Thought it's too soft, too wallopy, bit gutless. But I really got into it after a while, and I really started to enjoy that sort of big. It's a V-twin, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. Africa Twin.
V-twin, yeah.
Yeah. Was it an L? Is it a V or an L?
No, I know. The new one's a parallel. It's a parallel, isn't it? The new one's a parallel. You're talking about I think the original's a V, isn't it? But the new one's a parallel, isn't it?
Yeah, this is 2018 model, I think it was. They had
parallel. Then, yeah. But it feels more twin-like than the V-Strom, which is a twin. It's such with that pulse, that cross-plane. It does feel very V-twin like, doesn't it?
Technical cross-plane it.
I love it.
That's what they call it.
I love it.
Right, next one. Jolene Darren Edwards. That's Bronson. Hey guys, Bronson here. Hope you're all well. We all hear your thoughts on the different bikes you try, and you always say fun can be had on any size bike. I love mine for the speed, as it is my toy. What are the reasons for your own choice of bike, the ones that you actually pay for?
Good question.
What was that last bit, Bruce?
What's the reasons you have the bike that you have, the one that you've bought yourself with your own money? Why did you go for that specific bike? Who's first? Andy, are you ready to? You've got about 19 to choose from.
Yeah, I can go for it. I don't want to hog it because I've got a few bikes, but in my case. I like all bikes, so I don't get this prejudice of people that don't like Harleys or don't like GSs or whatever, or scooter riders and stuff.
Weird thing,
so when I bought my bikes, and I've currently got 5, one less than recently. I wanted to kind of cover all the bases. So, I wanted to get an off-road bike, my CRF. I wanted to get a, retro bike. I got the Speed Twin. I wanted the GS for touring. I wanted a sports bike, so I got the Ducati. So that was just me trying to make sure I was covering all the bases, just because when you first get into riding, you don't necessarily know what style of riding you're going to really like, do you? So I wanted to try them all. Also, to be completely honest, I was starting my YouTube channel. I wanted to make sure that I, attracted a potential audience. And it's great because by having those different types of bikes, I have kind of learned the sorts of bikes I like and I don't like. So, in the next few years, I might be honing the collection down a bit.
Couple of things there, Andy. You were actually looking down them to read what bikes you had then for a moment. I'm sure you're actually reminding yourself what ones you actually owned by reading them.
Not true.
But it's right, isn't it? I mean, you don't just to have one bike is so hard because you need no bike can do everything, can it? As we've discussed, so you really need one for each sort of genres of what you want to do. So it's really difficult. I bought the H2 because it was just a good price and I loved the bike and I just happened to have some money available when it came up and it was cheap and it's something which you think, well, I'd never can afford something like that again. It could be a future classic, even though I won't do many miles on it. It's just nice to have something special. So that's why I bought that really. And plus, I wouldn't have bought that if I wasn't in the opportunity with the YouTube stuff to buy lots of other bikes as well. So if I didn't have the YouTube thing, I never would have bought that as my only bike. It would be crazy.
Is that your own bike then, Chops? I didn't realise you only had the one.
I've got one which is in a million pieces.
Of course.
There's a frame up there, there's an engine here, and there's a couple of wheels at the back there. So I've got that one, of course. But,
I remember I enjoyed that series you did on that, and I remember commenting on your video that it was great you stripping it all apart, but I didn't fancy you putting it together again. And lo and behold, we've not seen the videos you put it back together.
Every single video I post, I must have 5 or 10 comments saying, that's all very well, but where's the Ducati? Every single video. I'm just awaiting the heads. I'm awaiting the heads from Tuan, who's doing the porting. He's been ill. He's not been able to do it.
That's all very convenient, isn't it?
I just not been able to do it. I'm itching to get in there again, but I've chased him.
It definitely makes me feel sick, Chops, when I see that.
Sorry, Rich?
It definitely makes me feel sick when I see you doing that kind of stuff. I'm just like, stop it. Just stop it. Just leave it alone. What's inside there? There's a YouTube channel, What's Inside, where they just rip everything apart just for the sake of it. That's Chops.
What does this do?
It's when I was removing the heads off the Ducati with the wood chisel. I got a few comments from people.
Genius.
Oh, dear me.
What about you, Rich?
No, well, me for my bike, obviously the VFR, I feel part of it. It's perfect for me. Absolutely perfect. Every single time I go on it, even now, after playing on all these other newer, fancier, faster bikes, it still feels every bit as special as it's ever done. So,
what drew
not to
you
mention
to the
things
VFR?
I've done on it and where I've been on it. So,
what drew you to the VFR initially?
When I first passed my test, again, what Andy just said, when you first start, you don't really know what kind of bike you like. Or what kind of style riding you like. So I remember speaking to a friend of mine saying, what kind of bike should I have? And he said, well, depends. Are you thinking like one-piece race leathers around a racetrack? Or I said, no, I want something that I can go to Spain on, that looks nice and is fast if I want it to be fast. And he just said, start having a look at VFRs, the VTEC VFR. So I started looking at it. And the more I looked at it, the more I fell for it.
Yeah.
And that's really as easy as that. And then just over time in the places that I've taken it, it's just a very, very, very special bike.
It just shows you, though, Rich, doesn't it, how you don't have to have the latest and greatest. And I've had the great privilege of riding your VFR, and it's a lovely bike to ride. And I've ridden a few older bikes of late this last year, and they've all got great character and charm. And it makes you think that actually the latest and greatest, a lot of it is just marketing, isn't it? And for all the second-hand adverts. One of the things I'm thinking about doing, actually, one of the things I was thinking of next year is try maybe clear out the garage a bit if I can and make some space, and then just use a bit of money to buy an older bike, live with it for 6 months and get to know it, then churn it and get something else and do that as a bit of a series, because I'm convinced that actually 95% of older bikes are just as good as the new ones are. You don't have to be spending 20 grand, do you, for a new bike?
No, but that's like the norm now, isn't it? It's like the norm is to spend 20 grand on a bike when, like you say, you could spend 2 grand and have an absolute belter for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And that's you don't need the fanciest things.
Yeah, it's definitely a criticism I've seen in the comments of, certainly of my own vids when I do the bike reviews, is people saying it's all well and good doing these bike reviews on these new expensive bikes, but what about bikes that, normal people can afford, all this sort of spiel.
It's just really hard to get on used bikes, though, isn't it? Because if you're borrowing other people's bikes, there's the whole insurance thing. You know, if you were to come off their bike, you may be insured third party, but if you were to come off or something, it would just be an absolute nightmare. It's getting access to them. You know, I think I'm with you, Andy. I mean, I've ridden a lot of older bikes. I've got a couple of older bike sort of reviews coming up as well, and it's lovely when you do ride them, and it does remind you that how good they are. You know, you better buy your ride bike which is 20 years old, and you think, really, this isn't that much worse than a brand new bike. You know,
no, exactly.
There's a lot in it.
Exactly that, Chops. Yeah, people like turn their nose up at like 20,000 miles, and you think, what? Mine's done like 90,000. Still feels as tight and as precise as it's ever done. So,
you know, it
doesn't feel one bit dated.
Like Trigger's broom, isn't it?
Not the engine. No, not. I've not touched the engine. I've not touched it at all. Just had a few electrics changed. That's it.
Yeah, I think the engine's not even been. VFR 800 is really. It's a bike I've never ridden actually, and I think it's maybe one of like the most overlooked bikes in motorcycling. You know, and they're so cheap to buy, aren't they? About a couple of grand, you can get what looks like a decent VFR 800.
It is a classic, and that's definitely, having ridden Riches, which was great. It sounds absolutely lovely. It's a V4, isn't it? And it's
V4, isn't it? Yeah.
It sounds
V4,
amazing. And again, I had a look in the classifieds after riding that, and like you say, you can get them at bargain prices.
Brilliant.
And, so that's
price,
probably top of my list to get one.
Right.
Every single time I do a video on it, I get comments on the sound of it every single time without fail, and it just, it does sound lovely. And you kind of forget when you're riding all these other bikes, you do kind of forget just how nice it sounds and how smooth that V4 is.
It does sound good in the vids, man. It does.
It's a real pleasure.
Definitely does. Right, cheers for that, Bronson. Bronson's he's asked a second question. I'm going to mention it purely because of the fantastic nickname he's given you, Chops. Second question for Paul Hollywood. That's you, Chopsy, allegedly. Your build series on Beastie influenced me a lot to custom build my ZX-10R, and I was wondering if you have any more ideas to do something similar in the future instead of just restoring some of your purchases.
Yeah, good question. I would love to do something like that, but it's room, it's space. You need a proper workshop to do. Yeah. When I did that, it was the only bike I had, and I had like work the tools set up, pillar drills. I just don't have room for that now with all the bikes I've got to squeeze in here at times. Yeah. I'd love to build some sort of workshop in the back garden and tackle something like that again. I actually rode that bike again the other day, and it was quite nice to ride it again. And I'd quite fancy restoring something now. Maybe not butchering something and completely changing something, but just buying something, an 80s, 90s bike, and just going through it all and doing like a restoration on it. That's what I really fancy.
I'd love to do that, and I'd like to do a BSA actually. For some reason, I've just got to think about them.
Nice. Yeah, how do you find the time, Chops? Because I mean, like your work output is pretty damn astonishing, really. It's pretty much a full-time work output that you're putting on. But you and Rich both have proper jobs. Yeah, that you do alongside this. But I mean, your channel is flying, and the content, I'm not saying the old stuff was bad in any shape or form, but there's a definite step up in your editing and your production value. So, and that obviously takes a lot more time. How the hell do you fit it all in?
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it. I wouldn't say the production value stepped up.
No, it definitely has. Definitely has.
Maybe I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, it's. I'm quite lucky. My day job is a job where I work from home. And in my day job, they don't know I do this whole YouTube thing, which is good because I'm not under the scrutiny as per se. So,
you've done it now.
I haven't been spotted. Yeah, I don't think I'll be all right. But,
some jobs worth.
Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky. And,
he's a Ronald McDonald stand-in. That's why nobody's recognised him.
Yeah, I've got the fancy dress on. I'm fine. No one recognises me. But yeah, it's tricky. And I must say, it's reached a point whereby I could be compromising my day job a little bit because I'm spending probably too much time on the YouTube stuff now. It is getting to that point whereby I want to really do something a bit more serious maybe with the YouTube stuff, and that's my end goal, perhaps even drop to 3 days a week with a day job and spend a couple of days dedicated to the YouTube stuff. So that's my goal. I'm trying to build it up and keep going at it, but it's becoming the point where it is getting really difficult trying to do both. Yeah,
well, you're on a definite roll, mate. It's flying. Good on you, prick.
Yeah, you say that though, but it's not really. It's always been very stable. There's no. It's sort of. It's
constant growth, mate. So,
it's constant growth. Yeah, there's no peaks in. There's no troughs. It's just constant growth. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about this YouTube game, is that I think not a lot of people realise it's just a long slog. And I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I love doing it. But I mean, people that maybe recently subscribed and think, well, how come he's got 180,000 subscribers? He's a bit rubbish. I've been at it for long, so it just takes a long time, and not that many people stick at it for that long, do they?
And then you see
perseverance, isn't it?
But there are channels out there that literally just come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they've got, even in the biking world, they come out of nowhere, and within like 6 months, 8 months, they've got massive subscribers, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how'd that happen? But
it depends what you want to do, doesn't it? Because
it does.
Those, I don't know which channels you're referring to, but I can think of a couple that have gone massive in the last year, and one of them I'm a massive fan of, and it's absolutely brilliant, and I can understand why her channel has gone very well, but it's something that I personally couldn't do because of circumstances. And the other one, great though it is not something that I actually want to spend my time doing. So it's a balancing act, isn't it? But
absolutely.
I'm sure we all got into this for the same reason. We just enjoyed doing it, and it still, to me, feels like a hobby, even though it's now a substantial part of my income, and I do it full time. But I primarily do it because I do love doing it. And if I just went down the route of doing it for growth and views, I might be filming and doing stuff that I don't necessarily enjoy, and that would
absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Right, next one.
It's all about the audience at the end of the day.
It is.
It's all about the loyal audience at the end of the day. That's all I care about.
And I think you and I, we're similar on our channels, Rich, I think, because we both go for the sort of trip, the sort of long form, the cinematic-y type stuff. And with the best will in the world, most people don't want to sit through that, so you get a very core...
Yeah, I know, It's never going to get you massive views, but it's going to get you exactly your core fan base, definitely. Like our little series that we've just done, The Big Little, for instance. They're never going to garner like massive views, but the audience, the amount of comments that I've had, and I'm sure you've had, that's absolutely made people's day. Made people smile and made people, because we're just three big daft airy arse blokes riding these tiny little bikes and having the time of our life. That's going back to that. Maybe you should do reviews of bikes that are affordable to other people.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not exactly a bike review, but we did a full trip, full tour, if you like, on these tiny little bikes, and it was just fantastic.
Well, I've done a few on the 125s now.
But again, it's not going to do 1 million views, but it's going to make someone smile. That's my point.
Well, I think it depends. In the case of Rich, I don't know what your plans are with your channel, but I get the impression that you want to do this as a full-time, make your living sort of at it. So fair enough, all power to your elbow, keep doing what you're doing. In the case of Bruce, that's obviously made that leap to go full-time, then there's an argument, I think, to do a bit of a mix of stuff. So, of course, do the tours, but also do the reviews as well. And I know you do that. But, I mean, we all four know how to get massive views. You just get onto, press releases and, you do a Trident video at the point that the embargo lifts, and bingo, you get a load of views. So, there's room for all of that, isn't there? But it's a matter of whether you want to do that all the time.
Yeah. How are your vids doing, by the way? You're trying.
I have no idea. I don't monitor that closely.
he's got his view count up right in front of him now on the screen, isn't he? Watching it.
Live view count, definitely. Yeah.
Every 15 seconds it's updating.
I'm going to check it now, you asked.
Yeah. Right, next one. Paul Foster. Hi to you all. I enjoy all your channels. Cheers, Paul. I love Richie's Big Little Adventure video. As I said, the funniest thing I've watched on YouTube. My question is for TMF. Watching a few of your videos, it looks as though you are wearing skinny jeans. Why?
Why not? It's. I think I detect a little bit of jealousy there, don't I?
He loses a bit of weight he's in skinny jeans.
I tell you. Don't knock it. I haven't. The reason why you wouldn't see me in skinny jeans because I'm in my bike ones, which aren't that skinny. But the rest of the time, I'm always. He should think himself lucky. I could have been in my grid girl outfit.
You're bored out, man.
Hey, mate, fit. Properly fit inside that outfit, definitely. In fact, the last time we met Andy was in Covent Garden, right back before all this crap kicked off.
That's when that super spreader event we were at.
Yeah, that's it. TMF rolls in with the looking like the milk tray advert, and I'm like, he's actually really fit.
You would.
I'm like, I would. I'm not proud.
What is the spreader event? I've got all sorts of images which I probably shouldn't have. What's the spreader event?
It involved a big bowl and a lot of keys.
Nothing to do with the virus. You understand? The spreader event.
not that virus. Yeah. Right, Roger White. How you doing, Roger? To each of you, you have to be in Monaco within the next 24 hours. Apparently, it takes 13 hours by road from Calais. Google Maps says you have all your bikes. You have all your bikes at the port of Calais, including any loan bikes in your garage. They are all full to the brim, roadworthy and shiny clean. Whose other bike would you take and why? Bearing in mind, once the bike has been taken by another, you cannot select it. Also, you cannot choose any from your own garage.
This is very complicated.
It is, right. Starting with the oldest of you beautiful four, leaving the youngest to choose last. Right, so age-wise, who's the oldest?
Oh, I am by a country mile.
Right. How old are you, John?
I'm 49 next month.
Right, so then it's you. Month. How old are you, Rich?
43.
Oh, I'm second youngest. I was 44 last week, so now.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Andy, you.
Quiet, didn't he?
I did. Yeah, I'd have to buy beer otherwise. Right. So, Andy, you can have any loan bike you've had and any of the bikes in any of our garages, but none of your own. Which one do you take?
Any loan bike I've had or currently have?
Ooh, I think it's...
I thought wasn't it just one of our other bikes?
Oh,
so one of our bikes that we've got, that's between us. You've got to choose one of the bikes we've got between us to do that.
Yeah,
got it.
Including any loan bikes that we have at the moment.
Bikes.
Right, that's easy then. I'd have your new GS, Bruce, because that is the bike to go down to Monaco on, isn't it? So that's that off the table for you. That's for me. Thank you very much.
Bastard. Right. John.
I think I'd have Richie's VFR 800, actually. I'm quite tempted by it now. I've never tried one, so I think I might give that a whirl. Put another couple of thousand miles on it for him.
No problem.
See if I can
no problem.
Yeah, definitely. You'd just be crying in the corner, wouldn't you? Like you just deflowered his wife. What?
No.
Even though I've not ridden it yet, I want that Rocket 3 that you've got, Rich. It just looks a hoot.
Oh, mate.
I forgot about that. I forgot about the bloody Rocket, didn't I?
I'm not sure it's a long distance bike.
I know we've all ridden this bike. Oh, man.
Andy, have I mentioned that I rode around the world on a jigsaw? Have I? I'll be fine.
That Rocket 3, I would happily do that trip on Rocket 3. It is incredible.
Move on.
But I know you've got it. I'm going to go for. I'm going to have to go for Chopsy's H2 just because I've never ridden one and I want to see what it's like.
He's saying that because he knows I'll be on the VFR, isn't he? So he knows I have to treat it nice. So he'll be doing stuff to my bike. Yeah, that'll be about comfortable.
What goes
I wouldn't recommend that, Richard. You'd be in agony by the time you got there. But you would be there about 4 hours before we got there.
Yeah, good point.
I don't know, Chops. I reckon you might give him a run on that VFR.
What's the top speed on 6th in that one, Rich?
About 70, I think.
Yeah.
First gear.
Nice. Right, okay. Paul Benson, next one. If, say you were riding along minding your own business and you were ambushed by the Spice Girls or the Backstreet Boys and they threatened to take your bike, or you have to face a full hour's rendition of their hits, would you give up your bike or put up with their sickening racket? Well, to be honest, I'd have the Spice Girls singing in front of me, no problem.
I know. I mean, it's outrageous. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? I'd just have what's her name? Not Sporty one. The other one, the scary one.
I like Sporty. I've got to say, I do like Sporty. Yeah.
Blimey, you sure about that?
I always had a thing for Jerry. Especially when that page 3 spread came out. When at the height of their fame and that spread came out, as a little lad, I was like,
as a little lad.
I've looked at that a time or two.
Presumably it's as they are now, though, in which case all the Spice Girls, bar Scary, are not so good. I mean, you know what they say, you never look back.
Sporty looks better than ever now. She looks amazing.
Actually, I'm with you on that, Bruce. Actually, she does look fantastic.
Definitely.
Yeah. This is going really south, isn't it? I'm going to even it up by saying the Backstreet Boys are fantastic musicians, fantastic singers. I'd happily sit and watch that.
I was just going to say, John's keeping quiet because he's going to go Backstreet Boys. Look at my T-shirt.
Boys.
He's got a poster in the garage.
Yeah.
Right, David Munser, brilliant. I look forward to hearing you all in full Brunus. I asked this last time, so I'll ask again. If Dicky writes a song for you all to perform, which instruments would you each play? Wow.
The triangle, because I can't play anything. Ding!
I would go for the anal kazoo, because it's both a challenging instrument to get the correct timbre out of, and also it's if played by the right person, it's quite a watch. So that would be me.
That'd be interesting to hear the key change on that. Quite a watch. Wow, the anal kazoo. I'd choose the drums just because I can't play the drums, but I would love to give it a bash. And the drum.
So you can sing. Boom.
You can imagine the noise that would make with Chops on the triangle, me on the anal kazoo, and you on the drum. It's not that tuneful, is it?
And Dicky Vegas in the background singing.
Great song.
Right, it could be Wild Bad Weekend next year, isn't it?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, David even gave the band the name Dicky and the Vloggers. Right, next one. Jacques Wood. What are your funniest rental car or rental bike stories? Cool.
That's such a bizarre question. It's like saying, what's your funniest house brick story?
Have you ever written off a rental car?
No.
No.
No, or is that a yes?
You have then, Bruce, have you?
No, I've not. But you hear about these people that go on like press launches and stuff and write off blooming rental cars and stuff. Just, I'm sure Sean Pope has. He must have. He's probably nicked one.
I was just gonna say, old Sean Pope's probably definitely done that.
Actually, I do now. I think about it. I do have one semi-funny rental car story. It was on a lad's ski trip, and for some reason we had this rental car, which was a bit muddy because it was like slushy and stuff. And we were going from France to Italy, and you have to go through the Mont Blanc tunnel, don't you? And we forgot that you have to take your passports to go through because the Italians check as you go through. They don't always pull you over, but in this case, they did, and it was very annoying because one of our party had an out-of-date passport that he said, don't worry, they don't look at it very in much detail. But on the point was, on the back of the rental car from the night before where we got a bit drunk, one of us, I don't know who it was, had written, "Fuck me gently" on the back of the car. And so we ended up standing at the back of this car having our papers checked by these Italians.
I wonder who that was.
These three bald blokes, and we knew that they were dodgy papers with this written on the back of the car. And we were just praying that they didn't speak, read good English. But so that was a rental car. That's the best one I can think of. We got away with it.
The only thing I can think of is I had to go to a wedding in France with the wife, and we turned up for our hire car from the airport, and they gave us a Fiat 500, and it was only me that was down to drive it. Well, me and a Fiat 500, I literally had to crowbar myself into this. It wasn't like the big Fiat, was it the Grande or something they call it? No, it's the small little thing.
They're great little cars, aren't they? Didn't Rich get one of those?
Not when you're 6'3" odd, it's not.
Yeah.
Did you have one?
On the way back from when my bike broke down in Biarritz.
Yeah, on the tour.
That's what they gave me. Yeah. At the airport.
Well, I forgot about that. Maybe I don't want the VFR, actually. I forgot about that breaking down.
Pressing the key, looking at all these Land Rover Discoveries and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've got a Fiat 500 you can borrow if you need it, John.
Right, next one. Martin Fordham. Question for all. Electric motorcycles. I've ridden both the Energica Rebelle and the Zero SRF. Are they there yet for the fun factor in your book? So, sorry, he did say, bloody hell, especially the Rebelle, the torque is equal to the Triumph Rocket 3. Wow. But are they there yet for the fun factor in your book? Electric bikes.
Yeah, they're great, but I don't think they're quite there for the fun factor anyway. They are good fun. The SRF,
for an hour.
I've ridden the SRF. It is good fun, but I think at the moment they're so expensive that because they're trying to build into a budget, the actual suspension, it can be a little bit budget because all of the money's going into the battery and the motor and all of that. That I think because they don't want to obviously make these bikes 30 grand like the live wire, so they cut back and they compromise on some of the other parts of the bike. And I think because, they don't have gears and stuff, and they're a little bit twist and go, I think probably not for me.
Yeah, I sort of agree. I think the fun factor, they definitely do have a great grin and fun factor, and everybody should try one at least once, because the fun factor is that awesome acceleration that they have. But there is that, as far as fun factor is concerned, they are a little bit of a one-trick pony, aren't they? You get that, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But once that is gone, then I don't know if I want to live with one, because there's so many inconveniences with them, the charging and everything else, and finding the right points and all that range, etc. And like you say, the cost is just not quite right yet. And the other thing I found was it's really weird. I'm sure you just get used to it, but the fact that you can hear everything else that's going on the bike, like the brakes working and the suspension.
See, I liked all that. Yeah,
not for me.
No. What about you, Rich?
I mean, the first hour is fantastic. But after that, it's just a bit like. It's not exciting enough, I don't think.
See, I
like them, but I don't. I just after the first hour.
No. The novelty wears off, doesn't it?
I need to feel like that with the I need to feel the rumble beneath my balls.
Yeah, I do.
Really?
When I've had an electric bike for any length of time, getting back on a petrol bike is definitely a great feeling. Absolutely, But I'm definitely in the mindset now that when that day comes and we can't ride petrol bikes anymore, like not en masse, when that switch is made where we're not on petrol anymore, we're now going electric or whatever the hell it's going to be, I'm not as worried about that anymore as I used to be, because I personally find electric every bit as fun. It's just a different sensation, and I quite like the challenge of the whole range thing, of trying to work out, right, okay, where's my next charge going to be, right, we've got 100 miles, let's go for it. I'm doing, by the time this comes out, I'll probably be
Excuse me,
on
gents.
it. You all right? Oh, by the time this comes out, I'll probably be doing it, but next week I'm doing a 4 corners UK challenge on the new Rebel. So, gonna give that a bash. I'll never do it in 2 days, but I'm hoping to get it done in under 4 if I can.
Wow!
So
that's actually quite a challenge. That'd be one to watch. I don't think, Bruce. I don't think there's going to be a point at which they will turn off internal combustion engine bikes. It'll be like any other old technology. It'll just fizzle out, and there'll be enthusiasts. And I suggest that us 4 may be enthusiasts that continue to ride the older bikes. Just like, you can still, if you're desperate, you can go and get a steam engine. They're always going to exist in our lifetimes anyway, so I have no worries about electric bikes coming in. If you're a commuter and you want a scooter in town, absolutely the right way to go.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'll be where it happens first, is for that sort of stuff.
If you want to commute on something, and I think, I could see riding something to work on electric, I think that for the cost saving, the maintenance saving, all of that side of things. But as a fun thing to take out on a Sunday morning, I've not tried. Maybe I need to try a few more, but it's not quite there for me yet.
Try the Energicas. Take the Energicas out, because they're more expensive. They're not live wire price, but they're not far off it. But they have, they've got amazing components on it. Marchesini wheels. They've got all sorts of them. So the Energica ones.
But there's also that terrible wine on that.
Yeah, they do.
There's that terrible wine.
Yeah, they have a proper wine, the Energicas. But I quite like it. I quite like it. Right. Next one.
At 40 miles an hour, it's like a police car's coming past you.
It is, yeah. Milk float on steroids. Hi, guys. Hope you're all fitting well. Nice to see Bruce has finally stopped looking like a vagrant and treated himself to some new riding gear. Cheers, Pete. Thank you. Question.
Well, it would be if you shaved that beard off.
Well, I'm actually... This is something with Mr. Fish that we're doing tomorrow. When we got a bit drunk on the last podcast with him. Basically, tomorrow, I am trimming my beard, not off, but giving it a trim, and we're both shaving our heads, totally bald, picking it, and then we are not allowed to shave until... when is it? Is it Easter? I think it's Easter Sunday. So we're having a competition to see who can grow the most hair in that time.
What are you going to look like with hair?
Well, this is a couple of months as it is, and there's just like You know, the old Charlie Brown wisps. That's all there is there. But anyway,
I don't think you're going to look any different, Bruce. Just
no, I know.
smarter.
Yeah. I won't.
Just watch out at Christmas. You might end up getting mobbed by kids.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything at all. Right.
I mean, look at Chops' beard. Check that out. I mean, that is a proper smart beard, isn't it? He can hold his head high with that one.
It's manicured, that beard, isn't it? Manicured.
It is a good one.
Right, question from Pete. You've been left a considerable amount by a distant relative. So the question is, rally or adventure? Very good. No, seriously though, have you thought about how you would treat your family, and would you go for the triple black or any other colour? Right. How would you treat your family if you won the lottery? And he's also saying you're limited to only 5 bikes in the dream garage. What do you go for? So you win the lottery, what are you going to do?
The Pete English question always stumps everybody, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I've got my 5 dream bikes in my garage, so I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to win the lottery either.
I wish.
Geez, 5 bikes.
I can't complain.
5 bikes. I'd have the GS in there. I'd keep the one I've got. I'd love a Super Duke R. There'd be an electric bike in there.
Behave would there.
I would. Definitely. Definitely. I'd have an electric bike in there.
What the Triumph push bike.
I would like a little bike in there as well. Having done that wee trip on the 125s, it was such a scream. I'd love to try the little Cub.
Yep.
I really want to try the Cub. I want to try that Hunter Cub, but it's not going to come to us, is it?
That Cub is brilliant. The Cub is brilliant.
That's all I can think of, really.
What about a dirt bike? You've got to have a dirt bike. We're going over the green lanes.
Bugger off. That's what the little bike's for.
Full on motocross. Yeah, full on motocross for the off-road stuff.
Nah.
A big like KX 250 or something.
KTM Enduro 250, 2-stroke, that would be me. But one of those.
Yep.
Probably Super Duke GT, maybe for touring on. Super Duke car for Sunday morning.
Are you sponsored by KTM, perchance, Joe?
Probably, maybe the new Fireblade. I really like the new Fireblade as well. So maybe the sports bike. Maybe the Fireblade.
I thought about the S1000RR. Forgot about that.
Yeah, S1000RR is very, very nice as well. One of those as well, maybe. Fireblade and the S1000RR for slightly more sensible times when you want to go out on your sports bike, when you need a bit of heated grips and cruise control.
Yeah.
What about you, Rich?
Well, I'd definitely have the Rocket 3 because the
Rocket 3,
GTAs,
and the Rocket 3. I'd definitely have a Rocket 3.
Adore it.
I forgot about that.
Rocket 3 is incredible bike. Rocket 3, Goldwing.
Oh, I've not ridden.
Definitely a decent off-roader. Full on motocross for just full on lunatic off-roading. How many is that? My own bike, and I don't know how many that was.
It's about 4, I think. So the Africa Twin DCT wouldn't be there then?
Oh, Super Cub, definitely.
So after all that blowing smoke up the arse of the Africa Twin DCT, you wouldn't have one in your dream garage?
I don't know.
That speaks
definitely
volumes.
The Super Cub, definitely.
Yeah. That I didn't even get to ride the Super Cub, but it looked a scream. It looked an absolute scream.
It's such a beautiful little bike. Genuinely, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And for the price, about $3,000, brand new.
Nice.
Absolutely brilliant.
What about you?
Can I put a bid in for the Ducati Street Fighter?
Would you?
You're quite taken with that, aren't you? You like the Street Fighter, didn't you?
Yeah,
I've tickled your fancy,
I've not
definitely.
got my videos up yet, but I've had the Street Fighter for a month and I had the Super Duke R as well, and those vids are coming. But I absolutely love the Street Fighter, and I was seriously thinking about asking Ducati whether I could buy it off them, but I'm already in negotiations on another bike about that. So
I wonder which one that is.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, I must admit the Street Fighter is very nice, but I think I'll take the Super Duke R over the Street Fighter. I think it's close, but I think the Super Duke R for me is just the Street Fighter is just a bit too. It's got that torque control, and it just feels a bit too much like it's riding itself a little bit.
Well, that works for me. I just found it was it flattered your riding, and it was like, to me, it felt like a Panigale V4, which I loved, but without the awkward riding position.
Yeah, that's the thing with it. You're right. It's just so easy to ride, isn't it? And you can go ridiculously fast on it, and it does absolutely flat your riding. Completely
yeah, and it was a
agree.
bike that when it first revealed itself and MCN did some spy shots, I absolutely hated the looks of it, and I thought, what are they doing with this? They've taken a nice bike in the Panigale and ruined it with this thing. But when you see it in the flesh, it's actually beautifully made. And then once you ride it and realise how nice it is to ride, I kind of forgot about the looks, and it sort of grew on me. So to the point that I really was seriously considering getting one.
Yeah, I completely agree. In the pictures, it looks like a bit weird, doesn't it? But when you actually see it, it's so well finished, and the little details of it, it is absolutely.
It's a beautiful bike and really high spec as well in terms of suspension and everything else. It's a lovely bit of kit.
Yeah.
Have you tried it, Rich?
In my future.
Have you had that, Rich? The Ducati Street Fighter?
I haven't. No, I haven't. No,
I've not had a shot
I haven't.
yet.
But the photo looked great.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Well, the switch gear is quite fiddly on it. I don't think Rich should get on with it, to be honest.
Hang on a minute. We're going back to the switch gear on the Super Ducati, are we? That we all know MCN cocked up before I had it.
What, the seasoned professional journalists? They broke the bike.
Well, that's what KTM told me.
Who's your money
Told
on,
you.
folks?
MCN
or the YouTuber? Which one are you going to go for?
Hey, how off that bike was I? I hated it.
Yeah, I know.
And when it came back
Couldn't
after it
believe
had been fixed, KTM told me that the settings and everything were all over the shop.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've been on the track or what, but it was completely a different bike, totally different, and I fell straight for it. Within the first half an hour, when it came back, I loved it.
Have you done any videos on that yet, Rich? I don't think I've seen any videos of you on the new Super Ducati yet, have you?
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple of them.
Yes, he did. Yes, he certainly did.
No, he did it on the one he borrowed.
sure there is.
The mate's one he's got in there for I don't know how long, but I've never seen on the new one. Did you?
No, I'm sure.
You're not watching close enough, John.
That's actually staying for another year. Actually, where is it? It's there somewhere.
Look at the bikes
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Look at them all.
What a blagger.
Look at them all.
It's all the kit along the back there. Look at it.
Yeah,
No,
do
I'm
that
just
again,
Blooming
Rich.
showroom there.
You've got.
Give us a tour, Rich.
Come
got
on,
me-
tour the garage. Wow. You have to keep talking so the camera stays on you.
That's-
I'll shut up.
That's the one. That's the one we're giving away.
Yeah, show us that.
Oh, I thought you meant the little pink one.
There's no surprise.
You got to talk or it won't stay on you. Keep talking. You can sing for us
Can you
while
see
you give
it?
us a
Can you see it?
Hey.
give us a sing.
It's like it's brand new. Well, it is brand new almost. But anyway,
Nice.
Yeah,
So how do people win that then, Rich?
Don't know yet. I think it's going
Who's
to be
it
the
gone?
next year's Wildbad Weekender.
Oh.
I think it's going to be at the Weekender next year. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now. You broke. How do people win that?
Yep. Well, initially, we were going to put it on the stage at the Wildbad Weekender this year, and someone within the tent was going to win it.
Wow.
Then obviously all COVID struck. So then we kind of changed plans, but because I'm hanging on to it for such a long time, I just kind of think I might as well keep it now until next year's Weekender. So we will put it on the stage, I think, and have someone in the tent win it.
That's mega.
Straight as straight and as easy as that. And all money raised from it will go into the Ricky's Last Ride Fund.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
So,
Nice,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome idea.
yeah.
Right. That was Pete English's. Let's move on to the next ones. David Hemmings. To you all, what would be your dream job if you did not do what you do now? Ooh.
Well, that's easy, isn't it? That's dead easy.
I think two people here have got their dream jobs already, Rich, don't you? God.
Yeah, but I mean, does that not mean if you couldn't do what you're doing now, so that includes Andy and I doing the YouTube, what would you do?
Mine will be a full-on, full-time musician, properly touring. Definitely.
Nice.
Mine would be a pornographer.
What, acting or filming?
I don't mind. Why would you not want to do that?
Wow. John?
Oh, that's a good. I don't know. Come back to me.
God, I'm trying to think what I would want to do if I didn't do this.
I'll tell you what I'd like to do. Fighter pilot.
Would you?
Fighter pilot. Yeah, fighter pilot. Flying
Full on Top Gun.
jets. Yeah, that would be a hell of a job.
That
Maybe
is
it's a
awesome.
job where you think would be fantastic, but Yeah, I'd love that, I think.
I think it's more computer operated with risk of death attached.
Yeah, maybe. That's
when,
just like what I did the SRF.
When I was in my 20s, one of my mates had a schoolmate who used to come down to London every now and then on the piss with us. And he was like a fighter jet pilot in the RAF. And he was just such a... Do you know what I mean? He was like a little wee guy... Like, all the girls loved him. He always had a story. You just thought, you are living the life. Do you know what I mean? Like, flying fighter jets for a living. Awesome. Yes.
They don't get paid very much, unfortunately. And it does favour small guys, the G-force. So I think Chopsy would be out on that basis.
Yeah, he was about the size of my right leg. But, yeah, great laugh. I think I would like, if I wasn't doing YouTube, then I would still like to do the filmmaking stuff, but actually... like know what I'm doing. So I would like to, do proper film school, proper photography, and just learn like about lighting, audio.
I've got another one, Bruce.
Cameras.
I've got another one. If I can't do fighter jets because I'm too big, another one I'd like to have done was prosthetics, like for like makeup and stuff for movies. Like
a special effects type dude.
Special effects type makeup and stuff. Yeah, that's
who would have thought it that Chopsy wanted a makeup artist? I mean, there's an amazing YouTube channel.
I'm just trying to say.
No.
It's a second channel, Chops. It's a second channel.
Well, I actually had I think I shared it with her. I had like an email from a makeup company, didn't I, saying, if you want to... I love your channel. I especially like your video. Do you want to do some makeup tutorials on your channel? We'll send you some makeup.
We've got £600,000 to spend on it.
Yes, right.
That would be funny, wouldn't it? Like, I'm just going to do one on applying this lipstick. It's like all over the place like that.
That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? That would be hilarious.
Watch, TMF's going to do one now. Look, you can see the light bulb going.
It's it does make you think, doesn't it? Because I've had a lot of people ask me if I'd make a video on how to lose weight, and I was thinking, I've had so many people ask it now. I'm thinking, actually, maybe I should, but I'm not claiming to be an expert.
Fitness
video. Get a lot of views.
I'll be a student. I was thinking about doing it. Just like, right, okay, I've had enough. Let's lose some weight and just document it. But I'd probably get about one day into it and go, I've had enough. I'm a Mars bar.
Embarrassing, couldn't it? When you're like, where's those? It's bad enough for the hypermotard restoration. Not alone. How's the weight loss video going on?
Come back in a year and I'm like that.
It didn't go well.
Yeah. Right, next one. Mike Phillipson. How you doing, Mike? We all know Dicky V is a great musician, but as the band is back together again, what musical instrument would each of you love to play in the band? Well, we've covered that. Sorry, Mike. We've already had that question, mate. Apologies. Paul Jai, third time lucky to all. As experienced long-term, long-distance riders with many days riding under your belt, how do you keep your helmets fresh and clean with the abuse they must receive?
Sure, that's a bit of a personal question. I think that's one for Richie to answer.
No,
he knows all about
wipes.
It.
How do you keep your helmet fresh?
With all the abuse you give
I have
it.
never.
That is you, Rich, I remember rightly.
Exactly.
Hey!
Does anyone treat their helmet?
That's some abuse. Anyway.
I do have...
No, I'm going to say I have never... I have never touched mine, ever.
You've never touched your helmet, ever?
Yeah, right.
I will send some muck off.
He's got groupies to do that.
Freshener stuff. And
well, that's good and smart.
I do some every year. I give it a spray.
Every year.
I wash it every year. It's fine.
You don't keep a helmet for more than a year. You trying to kid blag another lid? Oh, this one's
I've never
dirty.
treated any of my
Can I get a new one?
I've never treated any of them, but I would like some stuff being sent if there's anything to be sent.
You'd be surprised to hear that I don't clean my helmet at all. So it lasts about 4 years or so, and then time to get another one.
It falls off.
Yeah, basically. It gets to the point. It gets to the point where I myself can't stand putting my head inside it. So then I'm like, right, time to get another one.
I actually, this might sound gross, but I actually quite like that smell of a well-worn helmet.
Oh, wow, that's going in the trailer. Okay. Do go on, Andy.
That's it. I mean, I mean, if you've got a problem with a smelly helmet after a while, Bruce, that's not good. I don't find mine's like roses. Mind you, I have got 19 helmets, to be fair.
19.
Well, yeah,
wow.
And a few more in here as well.
It's nothing worse when you do a track day and you come back and you come in from a session and you've got a sweaty helmet. It's not good.
Talc. Right. Okay. So there you go, Paul. That's all about our dirty helmets. Ross Monroe. How you doing, Ross? Out of the four of you, who gets their hand in their pocket for the first round, and which of you is the most likely to yell at car drivers when they do something idiotic? I tend to shout at people.
Oh, rubbish!
What? I do. What, do you not think I do?
What, shout at the drivers?
Yeah.
Were you going to say get your hand in your pocket or shout at drivers?
Shout at drivers.
He's Scottish. He's never going to get his hand in his pocket, but yeah.
Racist. I'm going to have you that's your channel going. I'm going to deplatform you. Racist. LambChops the racist. Everyone heard that.
Deplatform you.
Right. Who'd get the first round in?
I would vote for Richie because he's the northerner and they're much nicer than us southerners. So let's go for Rich.
I'm not shy of getting around in.
I've got to say, having been on the beer with all of you at some point, everybody is fine at getting beers in. There's no one jumps out to me that has got very deep pockets and short arms.
I'm trying to think of an occasion when we've been out together and we've had to actually pay for beers, to be honest. I'm struggling.
Yeah, when we were in Covent Garden. You weren't at that one, Chops, were you? The first Covent Garden, mate.
I had a day job to go to.
Oh yeah, and that was
so did I.
Really expensive. Poor old Rich nearly had a coronary, didn't he?
I was on night duty that night, so I was on coke. But I think my coke was more expensive than their bloody beer.
Oh, in Covent Garden,
yeah, Punch and Judy.
Definitely, yeah. What a cracking session, though.
Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Andy was spannered. It was brilliant.
Yeah, he was steaming before I even left.
Sorry, Mrs. TMF is interrupting.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. Hello, Carol. Come and say hello.
Hi, Carol.
Come on. Get her on properly.
Carol.
You know, when she's on there, you can't get rid of her.
We can ask her about your smelly helmet.
She loves it when she's on there, doesn't she?
It's on. What's his name? Bruce's channel. Didn't tell you that, mate. Go for it.
No one watches. You'll be fine. Come on you come.
Oh, she's gone. She's got to make me a cup of tea.
Oh, good call. Right, Neil Hamilton. Same question as on the original podcast. If you had to choose a bike,
Neil Hamilton.
Which one's that? Neil Hamilton,
ex-MP.
All right. It may well be if he's into bikes. If you had to choose a bike for the three others, what would you give, who, and why?
Oh, that's easy.
Go on.
I would give Bruce the Sinis Apache.
It's a good little bike. No bloody brakes, but a good little bike.
Jesus. In fact, you asked earlier what we were going to do to give this bike away. The first person that tells me correctly how many times you said Jesus Christ in my episode of The Big Little wins that bike.
That was a crap.
I
would
give Bruce and Chopsy a Honda Grom just because it would look ridiculous, so that's good. And then I think for Rich, do you remember back in the days when bicycles were cool and we all wanted choppers? Do you remember they did a girls' version called the Chipper? The Chipper? I'll give. I think Rich could have a Chipper.
He's not a nice man, is he, folks? He's really not a nice man. Go on, Chops.
Oh, dear.
I've got no idea. Come back to me. I've got no idea.
You need more beer. You're being very sensible.
Career one, haven't we?
No, I came up with two of those. Didn't I? Fight a pilot and a prosthetics artist. So
makeup artist.
How can we forget?
No, prosthetics
How
artist.
original. That's brilliant.
Makeup. Right. Who would I give what? Blimey. What is the highest bike out there?
The highest.
Twin Adventure Sport.
Yeah, that is quite model, big.
Not this one.
Have you ridden that, Andy?
I did. I hated it. It was too tall.
Excellent. That's yours.
Last year's model were far too tall.
Yeah. Cool.
You know, give it something electric. That might be.
Yeah. No, you both didn't like electric, did you? So let's have a look. I would give Chopsy, I'd give you the live wire just to see if it maybe changes your mind a little bit.
No, that's probably the only electric I would quite like, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm
That
happy
does
with
look
that.
beautiful, actually. That does look great.
Genuinely, I've ridden a few electrics now, and it just felt individual out of all the electric bikes. It felt different because it's a different. It's almost like you feel like you're on an electric cruiser almost, because it's sort of stretched out a little bit. It's a bit of a longer rake in it. It felt different to the Zeros and the Energicas.
Has anyone seen the Charlie and Ewan thing yet?
I've not. No. Anyone?
No, I've not seen it.
No, not yet.
Are we all too cheapskate to buy Apple Play?
No, I've got it. I keep saying to the missus, we've got to watch this, we've got to watch this, but she keeps coming out with other rubbish to watch. So I haven't got her to watch it yet.
I keep asking folks. How they like it and how they're getting on with it, and apparently it's all good. Yeah, it's really good. Apparently,
I want to see it. I want to see it myself and see, because you always get the naysayers, don't you? So I'd like to see what it's like. Right, Rich, I've got to think of a bike for
definitely.
you, pal. Cool, blimey. What bike would I give you? I'd give you...
Andy's gone for the girly version of the chopper. You might as well just give me a grifter. Remember Grifter?
The Grifter was good. Was there a girly version of the Grifter? I think there was.
Great bike.
I remember the Grifter.
No, not a girly version, I don't think, but the Grifter was a great bike. Yeah.
But that was sort of off-roady,
I know,
wasn't
one
it,
of
the
those,
Grifter? I
definitely.
always coveted the
that's
Grifter.
it.
Over a chopper, actually.
Big chunky thing.
I'm trying to think what bike I'd give you, man. Oh, blimey, this is going to drag on.
What about one of those fold-up girls' bikes with the basket on the front?
A Brompton. The little city cruisers. Yeah, you can have the Brompton. There you go. You have that.
Oh, dear.
You're welcome. Is that everybody?
I'll take it.
Is everybody said now? What about the
You're
bike?
welcome.
Is that everyone? Has everyone said? Yeah. Right, next one. Chris Cunningham. What drives you lot to do what you do? It can't be the money, because you always moan about that. Well, get to ride. You get to ride a whole load of different bikes, get invited to different places, meet lots of new people, and I genuinely enjoy the engagement. I enjoy the comments. I enjoy meeting new people. It's the whole thing round about it.
Making people happy. Yeah. That's my thing, definitely. Definitely.
What about you two?
Anybody else?
What was the question again? Sorry. What
drives
this?
Yeah, what drives you to do what you do?
Oh, right. Well, as I said earlier, for me it was a hobby. I just enjoy the whole idea of it. I'm a wannabe failed radio presenter, so this sort of thing appeals to me. I love the feedback you get. I love making films, even though I'm rubbish at it. I enjoy doing it. I like bikes, and actually, you do get a chance these days. You can make a bit of money as well. So a great way to make a living. I thoroughly recommend it to the house.
Couldn't agree more. I think first of all was the creative sort of side for me as well. I enjoyed the editing, all the creative sort of thing, and you get to ride, like you say, Bruce, like you really, you get to ride all sorts of bikes, all sorts of opportunities. You never know what you're going to get in your inbox, sort of via email. You can get all sorts of offers for things. You know, it gets quite exciting, and you do get sort of addicted to the whole YouTube thing. And
I agree.
It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
We do get our fair share of, like you were just saying, Chopsy, you know, you having the chance to film some makeup tutorials, you know, you do get your fair share of shit that comes through the email address. But also there's the odd one that pings and you're like, ooh. Like you start rubbing your hands together, like, I like this one.
Wow. Yeah.
That's it, absolutely.
There is, of course, the dark side and the downside to it as well. Is that a follow-on part of the question?
It's not, but go on, what's that?
Well, no, I was only going to say the whole. I have a bit of a.
Here she is. Here she is.
Just brought me a cup of tea in a TMF mug, available on my website.
Other brands are available.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want them. So yeah, the downside obviously is I have a bit of a problem with social media generally. Have you seen that film, The Social Contract? I think it's called.
No.
Who was it? Casey Neistat recommended it on one of his videos recently. I watched that and that's pretty frightening. So the fact that YouTube is part of social media is
something about the notifications?
Really to that. I was thinking more of the fact that when you do put yourself out there, you do open yourself up to criticism. I'm not complaining, but you know, I've had my fair share of nutters follow me to turn up at the house, publish my personal bank details online. I've had my motorbike number plates cloned, and I've had people claim they're me in accidents, and also and just the general sort of hate that I in particular get. So I mean that's the downside. Greatly outweighed by the upside, but it's not all roses and makeup tutorials.
You just tend to you let yourself, we let ourselves focus on the negative side of it rather than the massively positive side of it.
Yeah.
When the negative things start rolling in, you've got no choice but to you let it absorb, and we really just should bat it away.
You could get 99 or like TMF's side of things, 999 positive comments, and you get one negative, and you focus on that one. It's ridiculous.
You do.
It's just human nature, isn't it?
It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
But anyway, never mind. Right, Rob Bignell, hi all. Question, so when Dicky Anus sings, do you turn your pack talks off? He doesn't sing to us. He won't sing to us when we're out on the bikes. One day you will. One day you'll sit. You did, actually. The first trip we did down at Toro, you started singing on the pack talks. I remember, because I was like, we're being serenaded by Dicky, by Rich. Made my day.
Yeah, I went Dicky Vegas.
You want Dicky Vegas or Dicky Anus at that point? No.
What's a pack talk?
What? Have you not got the pack talk?
Yeah. But yeah, I saw that little intercom you pulled out the back of the Goldwing the other day as you were showing us your boot space.
Oh, you well done. Well
next to my plug.
That was Honda supplied that in case I wanted to do the Apple CarPlay thing, but it was all too blooming complicated. So, but well spotted. I'm impressed.
I was watching.
You can actually bypass it, by the way.
What? You bypass what?
The headset, the headset for the Apple CarPlay, you can actually bypass it.
Oh, see, it's just too much technology. I can't be bothered.
He hasn't got to that tutorial yet, Richard. That's tutorial number 5. He's only on number 3 still.
Yeah. It's another CD. Right, Ian Preston, to all. Who's most likely to try and bit their sat-navs... beat. I think it means beat. To all, who's the most likely to try and beat their sat-navs ETA? Well, everybody.
Chops.
Well, that happens actually, doesn't it? You always beat it, don't you? I always seem to beat mine anyway.
It's a game, isn't it? You've got to.
Well, the thing is, they update as they go along, so theoretically they should be accurate when you get there, shouldn't they? Because
you take note of what the ETA is when you first set off, and then you have to beat that time, no matter what it says.
You can always do that. Even I can do that.
Ian says, thanks for making us all laugh during these testing times. No bother at all, mate. Glad you enjoyed it. Andy Horton, what's the best and worst thing... we've covered this. Best and worst thing about motovlogging. What advice would you give to people thinking about starting out? And is there space for more vloggers as YouTube seems to have lots? I think the negativity
don't start. There's no space.
No, exactly. I think negativity is probably the worst. You can get weighed down in that, and it's you can't take it personally, unless you know that person. You actually physically know them, then maybe there might be a reason to take criticism to heart. But if you don't know somebody and they're just mouthing off on you in the comments, you can't take that personally.
No, I would say what Andy said earlier. Like if you want to build a channel from scratch, make sure you start by building the channel that you want to be doing. Don't if you start doing something that's going to garner loads of views and you don't particularly like doing that, you're going to have to carry on doing that.
You've got to do it for yourself.
Build a channel that you want.
Don't do it for anybody else, because you'll never stick at it.
You've got to have your heart in it, definitely.
You just got to do it because start it for the right reasons. I think it must be really hard to start a YouTube channel now, because it's changed so much since we started.
Yep.
We were lucky we started when we did. I think if we started now, probably get no traction at all. But I think you've got to do it just for you. You just do the stuff you want to do, what you're interested in doing, and go from there, really.
Yeah. And also, Chops, as you said, you've got to enjoy all of it. So if you don't like editing, for example, which can take a long time, even for my quality of editing, it's you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. So you've got to make sure you like that. And there is, there's lots of stuff that goes on in the background. I mean, I spent a whole day today. I haven't done any filming, but I've had a busy day, and all I've been doing really is dealing with emails and answering comments and stuff. So you've got to you have to like the whole life cycle, and you'll get to know that as you do it. But absolutely, there's space for more. The more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned.
Before you even get to that, though, it's all the faffing with the cameras. I mean, how much faff is it to go out for a ride and get all the cameras on, make sure you've got your batteries charged? You know, there's a lot of faff involved, and then you've got to copy all that footage off the cameras.
Yeah. You do have to watch that you don't turn your hobby into a monster. No. I've done this before. I mentioned earlier that I'm a failed wannabe radio presenter, and I did. I had a stint of working at the BBC, and it got to a point where actually the fun disappeared and it just became a job. And I think I've been very careful when I started YouTube because I didn't want that to happen here. Motorcycling is my hobby, and I didn't want it to turn into just a job. And I think you've got to guard against that a bit.
Yeah, good advice, that. Definitely.
Well, when I met Richard Hammond when I was on the KTM launch, he said exactly the same thing. We said, "Why don't you do more sort of motorcycle stuff?" And he said, "I'm not doing any motorcycles. That's my hobby. I don't want to turn that into my job because motorcycles are just what I do as a hobby, you know." And that stays that way. So that was quite interesting.
Yeah. I felt the same about pilotage because I often thought if I had my time again, maybe I'd be a professional pilot, but then I'd lose a great hobby. So you got to. It's a balance, isn't it? Like everything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good advice, that. Next one, no usernames left. What's the largest animal you think you could single-handedly cling film to a lamppost? Bring it on. Bring it on, bear.
You've got some really weird subscribers, haven't you, Bruce?
Yeah, but they're my subscribers.
Subscribe to my channel. I think from a practical point of view, you've got to go for something small, haven't you? So, because you've got one hand, cling film is difficult at the best of time, especially if you get like Asda stuff. Costco stuff is good. So
you can't even get it on a plate.
I think nothing bigger than a gerbil.
I'm not asking why you have a gerbil with you.
I never said I had a gerbil.
I could tackle a small dog. I reckon. I could cling film a small dog to a lamppost, perhaps.
Jeez,
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that, Chopsy. I don't think you could. They flail about a lot.
You guys are. You're not setting your sights high here, are you? You
could gently put a slot.
Bear. You got to go for the beer.
I'm just going to get another beer.
Yeah, no worries.
I hope there's a little drop of brandy in it or something, at least.
What about you, Rich?
You could gently put a sloth on the lamppost, let him just have a little walk round it, and while he's there hanging onto it, you can use both your hands to...
How does the sloth hang on the lamppost, Rich? Show us.
That's probably quite a good idea. I think Richard's got it here. He's a big animal, but he's still quite slow. So I think he's really thought about this answer. That's good,
smoke and mirrors, see? Smoke and mirrors. You just have a little rest there for a second, mate.
See, this is the difference between me and you three, you see. I just set my sights on something, right? Bugger it, I'm going for it. Let's have it. I'll die trying. I'm trying to cling film Gentle Ben to the lamppost. Stuart,
he was a tame bear, Bruce. You're talking about a wild bear. You're trying to cling to the lamppost.
I'd feed him first, obviously, or her. I'd feed them, and then you live your life. Go for it. Stuart Bailey, what's your favourite road trip music track? One from each of you. Would the choice of track be the same for car and bike? Right, Rich, first, what is your favourite road trip track?
Easy, Willie Nelson on the road again.
Oh, bastard. Okay, Chops.
You were going to take that one.
I've got no idea. I've got such a diverse, different music I play. I don't think I've even got a favourite song or something like that. And it would be the same for bike or car. That wouldn't make a difference, but no idea what that would be.
I fancy Sweet Home Alabama.
Nice, another good one.
Yeah, nice.
Another good one. I'm a big fan of blues and boogie, and I like...
I've got you down as a dancer, actually, Bruce. That's good. You should say that.
Sweet Home Chicago, the Blues Brothers lot. Awesome.
Oh, great song.
Beautiful, love that.
Great song.
I remember listening to that as I was riding into Chicago, and that came on my old... Apple Shuffle thing that I had.
Give us a bit of a rendition, Bruce. Come on, let's hear a bit of it.
After Rich, you lay down the beat and I'll sing.
Hey, we used to play that in the band, and I can't even remember how it goes anymore. Great song.
Nothing is sacred. Right, Colonel Bullen. Sorry, but I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you to you guys. You all have different channels, but really entertaining. Thank you to keep us all entertained. Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. Well done, Bruce. I probably sound like a broken record.
Thank you.
I love the podcasts. Top man. Cheers, Colonel. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Cheers, pal.
Scott Doby, question. You've been handed 12 months post-COVID, all personal, work, financial responsibilities, etc. covered and sorted. Where do you ride?
New Zealand.
Ooh.
I'll join you there, Rich. That was my top of my list.
For 12 months?
Yeah, we'll get 2 African twins. Not African twins. Two gold wings. As I said to you before, Andy, between us, we could change the image of the Goldwing.
That I tell you what, that
we'll do a tour of New Zealand.
Amazing bike that is. New
Does
Zealand
look good.
on a Goldwing,
Fantastic.
with Scary Spice on the back. Winner.
I think with you two on Goldwings, you're only going to reaffirm the image of the Goldwing. You're not going to change it.
Brilliant.
Bravo,
What about you, Chops, then? 12 months, where would you go? Money no object.
Australia. I think Australia would be great. I'd like to get, especially now in the middle of the winter, over to Australia, catch their summer just starting over there, do a bit of riding.
That would be good, because me and Rich
amazing.
would miss you in New Zealand.
That's right.
12 months. I'd do Africa. I'd go back to Africa. Finish that one. That would be me. Or tip to tail of the Americas, one or the other.
That's like your Africa is like the bully at school that you need to go back.
Yeah, I've got to go back and nut it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It'll get done one day.
Close second, though. Can I do a close second? The deserts of the Western US. That would be a great tour.
Oh, okay.
It would, yeah.
Oh.
I think we said that last time, didn't we? A bit of the US tour would be absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
We did
We
chat
got to do
about
that
this.
together. We got to do that.
That would,
That'd
be
great on
amazing,
Harleys.
wouldn't it? Harleys or Indians or something. Oh,
An American road trip. That would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
I'm sure collectively we have the clout to be able to blag 4 Indians to do a Western US tour.
We'll chat off camera.
Come on, Indian.
We'll chat off camera.
Count
Andy
me in
Bauer.
on that one.
Right, you're on.
Yeah, definitely.
Andy Bauer,
I am
motorbike
in.
tourer. Looking forward to this lot. Not a question, but I, for one, can't wait to go abroad again. Ferry is booked to Bilbao next year for a big hack around Europe. Absolutely, Andy. Can't wait to get back out on the continent again. I really can't. I think you kind of take it for granted, don't you, how easy it is just to jump on the tunnel or jump on a ferry and nip across and
I've said this.
Go where you like. So yeah, can't wait.
It just makes you realise really that we've been taking it all for granted, haven't we? Just being allowed to roam the world freely, and now it's seems like a massive luxury if we ever get to do it.
It'll come back. I'm sure
it's horrible, really, but. Yeah, I'm sure.
Steve Farrell, great channels all. What's the most useful modification you've done to one of your own bikes and why? Oh, useful modification.
Can it be anything?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say the useful thing, the phone mount. I know it's simple, cheap, but you can use it for your sat nav. You can see your phone calls coming in. You've got no faffing. You haven't got to piss about in your pocket like thinking, "Oh, who's this calling me?" You can see everything in front of you.
You wait till you knacker your phone,
safe.
though, Rich. Then you might
Cheap as
change
chips.
your tune.
You did. There's a load, half.
Yeah.
I
have done.
Yeah. Well, I think they're rectifying that as we speak. I think in the design.
Yep.
I'll never be mounting. I won't put my phone on my bike again after trashing my iPhone. It cost me a lot of money.
Oh, Quad Lock's come out with the anti-vibration adapter.
Yeah, it's all a bit horse, stable and bolted in my case.
Yeah. Did they never sort anything with you then for that?
Well, no, and I blame Pete English for it because he was the person that recommended Quad Lock to me, and it was brilliant. I mean, it's a great thing, but it's so sturdy. I put my phone on there, and it just knackered the camera, and I was reliant on that for my thumbnails and stuff. I think thanks, Pete.
The misconception, a lot of people think that it's the vibration as in your phone moving, and it's not. It's the high frequency vibrations off the engine.
Is it?
Like they're really like that are drilling into your phone. Yeah.
Is it?
It is definitely that. It's not that the phone's moving. Yeah, it's the high vibrations of the engine, the high frequency. That's what does it.
Whatever it is, it's costly.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Chops, what about you then? Most useful modification?
Yeah, I'm liking Richie's phone mount. That's a good one. I think the old stone chip stuff's always good on a new bike. You get some of that on it, stop any of the chips and stuff. I think that's quite a good one.
But you've got self-healing paint on your bike.
No,
haven't you?
mine's a
itself.
2017. That was only the 2019 had that. Mine's got basic old paint. Yeah, you can scratch mine.
I'd love to see that working. It's a bit like self-cleaning ovens. You never see them get their arms out with Brillo pads, do you? And clean them.
What about you, Andy? Most useful modification. Yeah, best mod.
It's a bit rubbish, but it's the my Panigale throttle spacer that you can also get on Triumphs. It's just a little bit of plastic you put inside the throttle. It takes out the slack and it makes the slow speed handling on all ride-by-wire Triumphs and Ducatis so much better. It costs about 30 quid for a bit of plastic that's worth about 20p, but it's just brilliant. It's well worth the money.
Right. For me on the tractor on the GS, there's two. One is the phone mount, but for the GS or for any of the BMWs that use the nav, whatever it is, 7, the sat nav mount on a BMW now, you can get this phone mount adapter for it for 23 quid on Amazon, and basically it just clips straight into your sat-nav cradle, and then you can just plug your phone straight into that and it charges your phone up as well. So that 23 quid versus 700 quid for your BMW nav, whatever it is. And the other one for the tractor is what's it called, the fender extender on the front mudguard. Brilliant.
All right.
Brilliant.
The back of the front mudguard, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Nippy Normans. That Nippy Normans, is it?
It is, yeah. It's made by oh god, I've forgotten the name. American company, I've forgotten their name. But
Fender extenders are us.
Something like that. Yeah. It's a bit of plastic. I think it's about 90 quid or 100 quid. Daft, ridiculously expensive, but it does a cracking job. It literally, you can fit it in about 4 minutes. It's 2 screws, done, and it really does save the headers on the GS. Good bit of kit. So that's for me.
And right. What's the discount code, Bruce, for that one?
I haven't got one. I'm doing a fair bit with Nippy Normans, but I haven't got any discount codes or anything, I'm afraid, people. Not yet, anyway.
Not very good, is it? Not very good. You want to get on top of that? Oh,
well, if they get some interest off the vids, they might give me one. You never know. So if you're buying anything from Nippy Normans, tell them you saw it on my vids. Right, Jeff Armstrong.
Good luck with that, Bruce.
Yeah, cheers. Hi all, question for the Flyer. I've noticed that, here we go, I've noticed the plug has gone missing from your shelf. Has Dicky Anus borrowed it, or does Bruce still have it? Cheers, Jeff.
It's here. They have no fear, it's just out of shop.
Oh no. Oh my God.
Where has that been? That's an image, isn't it? That's the thumbnail sorted, Bruce. That's the thumbnail sorted.
Wow. God. Right, Michael Allen, for all 4 of you. 1, what is the best tip you would give a new rider to improve the riding? And 2, what's the biggest thing that surprised you when you started riding? New rider, best tip to improve riding.
Don't fall off.
Don't fall off.
Relax.
Yeah.
Look through the corners. And the biggest thing that surprised me was the weight of motorcycles. Big motorcycles.
Okay. What, as in when
you're on a stand and you go... Yeah, when you go past that point of no return, if you're unfortunate enough to drop one, it's surprising just how heavy they are, because when they're upright, you don't really feel that they're that heavy. You think, as a strong bloke, no problem, I can hold this. But once it goes past that point, there's just no way. Yeah. That's very surprising. So always, always, always kick your stand when you put your stand down. Make sure it's down. If you're pointing downhill, leave your bike in first. Always.
That is a cracking bit of advice. Yeah, leave your bike in gear, definitely. Chops, what about you, pal?
Yeah, I think what Rich said there, really. Just relax on the bike a bit. Don't hold on too tight, and try and grip with your knees, all that sort of stuff. Or maybe get some sort of tuition, like the California Superbike School. I've learned a lot. What they teach makes a lot of sense when you do that on their level 1 and stuff. So maybe some tuition is always good, or one of the the road-based tuition. What is it? The IAM, is it, or whatever they are?
Yeah, they do rider skills days. They're good. They are good as well. Bike Safe, the thing that you could do through the old bill. That's good as well. Yeah,
you've done that. You've done that, Bruce, haven't you? The advanced riding. Mm-hmm. Have either you two, Andy or Chops, have you done it?
No, I haven't. I was actually at Lumi's
I would like to do it just to see.
And there was a guy there trying to get people to go out. Oh, you can come out with us and we'll follow you around and that. Maybe later.
I've done the bike safe one with the cops. That was good, which is a day. They try and use that as a feeder to get you to go on and do the IAM stuff.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a problem with IAM. So I know a few people that have done it, and you can never argue against extra training. So I can't say that it can do you any harm. But my issue with it is what makes those people that run it any better than you are. So, for example, I know a few people that are IAM instructors that have been riding far less years than I have. So I just, I mean, I don't know, just doesn't feel quite right to me about the way that the thing's set up. That somebody that's been running a couple of years, just because they've passed the IAM instructors course, can give you advice. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You can't argue against more training.
Absolutely. I think with the IAM and the ROSPA things, every club is different, and the instructors are all different. We're all people, they're all people at the end of the day. So you have to try, if you want to be part of that sort of scene, then go along to a club, see if you fit in there, see if you get on with the people there. If you don't, go to another one and try that. And it's just a question of, finding that group of people that you get on with, and then you'll enjoy your time there. But there are definitely, there is that brigade there, and that's not my cup of tea personally. So I don't get involved in that side of stuff. But there are some great.
I'm exactly with you, Bruce, on that.
Yeah, but it's more training can never do you any harm. Absolutely, can never do you any harm. For me, I would say definitely what you said there, Rich. Look where you want to go on a bike. Just look where you want to go. Even if you think you're going to crash, look where you want to be, not where you're going. And hopefully,
it's such a weird thing to say though, because obviously you're going to look where you're going to go, but really for the inexperienced, if I've done it myself, if you will go where you're looking.
Absolutely.
No question. If there's a rut or something like that, that's where you're going to go.
I'll tell you what, if you go on YouTube and search for Twist of the Wrist, which is just Keith Code, there's a whole video on YouTube, the whole thing about an hour long. You watch that, and there's so many good tips in that of how to ride and how to avoid falling into those traps of, target fixation and all that sort of stuff. Twist of the Wrist.
It's brilliant.
The acting is absolutely appalling, but you get past all the acting, it's invaluable. Really,
I love that. Chops just builds them up just to shoot them down.
So it's filmed in the 70s or 80s, wasn't it?
Surprised you most about riding?
Oh, there's so many tips in there, Andy. Well, there's the whole body position thing. It's just sort of breaks it all down into there's so many. I can't think what they call it now. I've had too many beers, but it's an SRs they call it, which I can't remember what it stands for. But there's all these mistakes which you automatically make, but you shouldn't be doing. So have a watch of it.
I've read the book actually, but my question was, what was the thing that most surprised you about riding a bike? Because that was the second part of the question, wasn't it?
Yeah. Biggest thing that surprised you.
As in what?
When you started riding, what's the biggest thing that surprised you about riding a bike that you weren't expecting?
Oh, you're going back a bit now. I was 16, guys. So, I guess it's the whole performance thing, really, with bikes, isn't it? That was the thing that stood out really most of all for me, I think, when I started riding. Just how quick they were compared to cars, really.
I agree. I was hoping you'd say it, because I was the same. I was stunned by how performant. Even I did my DAS thing on a Suzuki GS 500, and I thought that was an absolute beast of a bike. So that was, for me, the performance was just amazing. The fact you can go uphill without pedaling was just stunning. And also the grin factor, the buzz that you get. I mean, it's a bit like when you learn to drive a car, you get a buzz, don't you, when you do a driving lesson? But similarly on a bike, the same when I learned to fly, actually. I mean, it's just you come off the thing and you think, God, that is brilliant. How is that legal? And that was a surprise to me. I love that. Unfortunately, it wears off, doesn't it, once you've been doing it for a while?
God, I still get it. But for me, it was the freedom. It was just that sense of freedom. Like even just commuting to work. I just had that feeling of, and I can do anything here. It's just I was enjoying wherever I went. I was enjoying it, and I still have that to this day. So to me, the bike's like the passport. It's just right. Where are we going to go today? Then what are we going to do? And I just love that you don't need to worry about traffic. if you're wearing the right kit or you don't care, you don't need to worry about the weather. You just get on the bike and go and make it happen. And I just
How are you
love
getting
that.
on with your very expensive new kit, Bruce? Because that makes all the difference, having good kit, doesn't it?
It's a game changer. I mean, it's an insane amount of
Yep.
money to spend on a jacket and some trousers, but it's a game changer because I've just done a little trip down in the southwest there, and it's freezing cold, pissing down with rain. Normally I'd be soaking wet, and I was bone dry with a t-shirt on underneath. I was comfortable. It's great. Loved it.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It changes your riding.
If you get the equivalent of Gore-Tex Pro, which I think is what you've got, it's just amazing, isn't it? It just makes any day a riding day. It's great.
Yeah, I'm just not bothered about weather.
Really makes no difference.
Yeah.
Really makes no difference to what the weather's doing. Like normally you're panicking, aren't you? Thinking, oh no, it's looking a bit grey over there. I'm going to have to pull up and put my suit on. Then you're a bit flustered and stressed out. And then when you've gone through the rain and it's dried out, then you're thinking, okay, shall I take it off? Shall I take it off? Then you're stressed again. Shall I take it off? And I'm going to get wet through again. The Gore-Tex thing for me is brilliant. Yeah, just it doesn't make any difference to what the weather's doing at all. Just enjoy the bike, enjoy being out and the freedom of it. Definitely,
it's well worth it if you can. And I mean, I'm not sponsored in any shape or form by Infinity. I've used it as well, but they do 0% finance, so it makes that ridiculous expensive rucker kit, if you're willing to do it monthly, makes it achievable. I've done it over 2 years, so it's 70 quid a month, I think. Bosh, done. Anyway,
but if that means you can ride any day and not worry about it, that's well worth 70 quid, isn't it?
Exactly. And like you, definitely. This is my job now, so it now means that even if it is peeing down with rain or it is freezing cold, I'm still going to be out on the bike when I'm not editing. So I can be out there filming, creating more stuff.
Absolutely. I was out on my bike yesterday. I was chucking it down around. I was on my Ducati. I had to take it for an MOT, and it was just a filthy day. I've got a Dane kit, so it's a bit like your Rucker or Klim. It's that same sort of level of kit, and it just keeps you bone dry. And I've also got a heated jacket that I wear. I can ride in sub-zero temperatures and I'm just as toasty every day. It's absolute game changer. So, and heated gloves as well is another great thing.
That's just on the Panigale though, Andy, isn't it? With the heat you get from the engine and the heated vest.
You're quite right. I mean, they all run very hot, and I was really pleased with it. I mean, let's face it, it's not even cold yet, is it? But I think it was something like it was only like 8 degrees, but I was toasty as you like. And when I stopped at traffic lights, and that heat was wafting up with the Panigale, it was lovely. But then I did have to spend all day cleaning it.
I've just been given these Keys heated gloves. I've not used them yet.
You've got the 701s?
The new ones, whatever they are. What are they?
Yeah, they're touch sensitive. They're the ones I've got. They're absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
are they good? Are they?
Yeah, fab. I'll find mine.
I'm gonna try them on this thing next week. I think we'll see. Right.
I think with your Gore-Tex and stuff, once you've got the confidence in it, that's it.
No, it's great. It's great kit. It's just expensive, isn't it? That's
coming from waterproof stuff to Gore-Tex stuff. You're always kind of thinking, oh, is it? Well,
yeah.
It never does. So.
Well, I've had the laminated kit, and it's great, but eventually water gets in. That's the experience I've had. Eventually water's got in. If I'm out riding for 12 hours, water gets in there eventually. It's generally right up in the midriff, probably because I'm a fat knacker, but I generally always seem to find the water comes in around the waist there, the connection between the trousers and the jacket with the rucker.
That's in laminated kit, Bruce, is it?
In laminated stuff, yeah.
Laminated Gore-Tex?
The Wolf.
The laminated Gore-Tex, you mean?
Pardon?
The laminated Gore-Tex, you mean?
No, not Gore-Tex. Though there's like the cheaper laminated stuff that you can get, but not Gore-Tex.
Right.
But I think with the rucker stuff, it's got the bib. You wear like a bib with it. The bib trousers. So I don't know if it's that or if it's the Gore-Tex or Gore-Tex Pro itself.
Well, I think you'll find that's called Gore-Tex Pro, and that's a tri-laminate. So there are 3 layers of it, and that's what makes the difference.
Right.
That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah. It's good kit, definitely. Right, next one. We're nearly through the Patreon questions. John Broadhurst. It's John, it's the Bin Boys. Question for all. If you were offered £1 million but had to cease all social media activity or say no and carry on as normal, but to continue, you had to each drink a filtered beer through a pair of sweaty kegs. What's the question? What is the question for all? If you were offered £1 million but had to cease all social media activity or say no and carry on as normal, there's not a question. What is it? So if we won £1 million,
I think it's you can have £1 million to give up doing all this, or you can drink through some sweaty kegs. I think I'll take the £1 million.
Yeah. Take £1 million and find someone else.
And we'll all just meet up. We'll meet up a couple of times a year on a beach somewhere.
On a yacht. £1 million, John. I love what I'm doing, but £1 million. It's £1 million.
It's £1 million.
Anyone disagree? No.
That's 3 months of work on YouTube for $1 million.
Jesus. Prick. Chris Murphy, conundrum for all. Why can you dunk a biscuit in coffee for longer than you can in tea?
Who dunks biscuits in coffee? I've never even tried a thing. What's that all about?
That is actually a good point, Chops. That's a good point, Chops.
I'm not sure.
Who would do that kind of thing?
Is that even true? Has anyone tested this?
I don't know. Where's Mrs. Flyer? Ask Mrs. Flyer.
Yeah, you got a cup of tea there, Andy. Where's the biscuits?
I have, actually. Mm-hmm. Biscuits are banned in my house, but I do have a secret stash of digestives that I bought for Henry Cole in the back cupboard, which I've actually eaten myself. So I can do a tea test, but not a coffee one.
Get her to get the coffee on.
Got no idea about that, Chris, to be honest with you. I'm sort of with you, Chops. The only time I've ever dunked a biscuit in coffee is generally when I'm abroad and they give you a little wee biscuit with your coffee when you have it. But I don't suppose I dunk it. I just eat it.
I don't think you're meant to dunk that. Typical. Is that typical Brit on holiday?
I'm sat there in my Union Jack t-shirt and shorts.
And your tea towel on your head, tied on your head.
Right, next one. Pete Pete. Hi all. As you may or may not know, Bruce went round the world on his jigsaw prick. If you were to travel round the world on a bike, which countries would you include on your must-see list and which would you exclude and why?
Blimey.
Right. Must-see list. Well, New Zealand, Australia.
That's a tricky one. Yeah.
Where else do you want to go?
I think that's quite generic, isn't it? We're all, Your main big hitters, New
I'd love
Zealand.
to do South America.
New Zealand's probably the top.
Argentina and all that stuff. Chile,
definitely.
that'd be good.
Mm. Yeah, I'd like to explore South America more, definitely.
Was it Mauritania you got stuck, Bruce? That you'd avoid? Or
great place. Yeah, Mauritania, I wouldn't be that keen to go back. I want to do the stands. I want to do the Mongol Rally. I had Paul and Holly on from Riding from Reality last week, and they rode the little sinister terrains through the Mongol Rally. So they rode them from the start point in Prague to Ulan-Ude in Russia via Mongolia and all the stands, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Pakistan, all that. I'd love to do that. It sounds a right adventure. I was
different
said
culture.
I said to you in Fish, didn't I? But what's that?
Yes, yeah. I was saying it's a different culture shock completely doing the stands.
Yeah, but I've not had anyone say anything negative who's actually been and done it. Nobody has said a single negative thing about it or the people, and that's true of just about every overlander I've ever spoken to about any of the stands and like places like Syria. Well, not Syria now, but before all this happened in Syria, people used to say to me, Syria was one of the friendliest places they'd ever been to. It's just one of, and Iran as well. It's like the sort of places where we're told do not go, and they went and found it an amazing place. Obviously, different kettle of fish now, sadly.
Yeah, but, definitely.
Yeah, I would like to try the stands for sure. What about you, Chops?
Oh, yeah, I think all the nice, easy places which are sunny. Australia, America, Europe, nowhere too taxing for me, thanks. But there's good roads, friendly people. Yeah, I think we'd do a good tour, Andy, wouldn't we? We'd do a good tour.
Sounds good to me.
We'll leave Stan at home.
Okay then, right.
I still think Norway's up there. We're one of the best.
Absolutely.
Norway's a special place, definitely. You should definitely give that a shot. If you've never thought of doing it before, definitely give it a shot. Beautiful place.
Yeah, I've got to go back and do those Lofoten Islands. You did those, didn't you, Rich?
Oh, yeah, absolutely stunning. I think it made it better for us because on the way up we just had shocking weather all the way until we crossed onto the Lofoten. So all the way up through Norway, every single day, just a big blanket of cloud the whole way up. and it was only when we crossed over to the Lofoten Islands, it were clear, blue skies, white beaches, and just the most beautiful place I've ever seen. Just really, really special. So yeah, definitely a special place, and everyone should do it.
They're like the Grand Canyon. They're one of these places that actually look even better in the flesh than they do in the pictures. It's just stunningly beautiful place.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I agree. Have you been to Niagara Falls? I know you have, Rich, but have you been, Bruce?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I went on the American side. I didn't cross into the Canadian side.
Because I thought that was the opposite. I thought that was a bit more rubbish, for real.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It's just like, oh, is this it? It's like quite tacky and touristy, isn't it? Okay. Right, next. Where would you exclude then? All right, Chops and Andy, on your civilised trip, where would you exclude and why?
Anywhere that doesn't speak English and have non-spicy food.
And lots of coffee shops.
Beige.
Coffee breaks.
Wow. All right then, Rich, more adventurous. Where would you avoid and why?
Bradford.
Jesus. Cut.
No, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know.
Have you ever been to Bradford out of interest?
No, I try my best not to.
Where would I exclude?
Sorry, Bradfordians.
Yeah. Watch your sub count go. I can't think of anywhere I would definitely not go to. Well, I wouldn't go
North Korea. North Korea might be worth missing.
No, I'd quite like to.
Yeah, obviously.
I'd quite like to see it.
I'd like to.
Yeah,
I'd like to, definitely. But
probably not
you're
advisable to go there
right,
just now. I wouldn't go to Syria at the moment. Obviously, I wouldn't go to Iraq at the moment. A lot of parts of North Africa I wouldn't go to at the moment. Northeast Africa just now. That's about it, really. Game for anything else? Right, next one. Cheers to that, Pete. Robert, second last question for Patreon. Robert Forster, question for Sticky Anus. What nicknames would you give your fellow brewtimers?
Fellow brewtimers. Well, Bruce, because you concocted awesome. This stupid Dicky Vegas thing. Bruce the Awesome. Your tosspot one.
Love it.
Well, to be honest, I've not got anything negative about TMF or Chops. So I'm not going to give them a bad name. Just you.
Good man.
No, I'm not having that. Come on. Give them nicknames. Right now.
I'm not having it. They don't deserve it, mate. They don't deserve it. You do.
Tosspot one. Well, I've definitely been called worse. Thanks, Rich. Oh, right, last one of the patrons.
One and Sticky Anus are just brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah. You've got to get t-shirts. Got to have t-shirts for that. Ashley Wright. Good evening, gentlemen. I hope you're all well.
Good evening.
How are you, Ashley? Now you will have to forgive me as I've been listening to far too much Joe Rogan. Question. Do you think that one day all automotive travel will be completely autonomous? The governments of the world will deem all of society unable to drive and ride safely, therefore banning it completely.
Nah. It's like we said before, the electric thing. There'll still be enthusiasts that drive their own vehicles, although it may be that mass transport is all automated. I'm willing to buy into that. Let's face it, the insurance premiums will be less, won't they, if no one has any crashes? It'll be a great thing.
I could see it going, remember on iRobot, that Will Smith thing, where you have the option to manually override it, but nobody ever does. I could see it going that way. Yeah.
I think it would be a great thing. You imagine if you had a car and you could go out for a few beers and you could just go on an app on your phone, your car would come and give you a lift home. It would be fantastic.
I can't think of anything worse than being out on my bike and being surrounded by people who aren't paying a blind bit of attention, and it's all left down to technology. No. Well,
that's how it is now, isn't it?
Kind of.
Has anyone actually tried the autonomous Tesla? Has anyone done the Tesla thing? Had to go in the fully autonomous?
No, mate, no.
That would freak me out. But
I don't think you can do it in this country, can you? I think it's only in the States you're allowed to do that.
I'm not sure. I'm sure I've seen videos. I'm sure I've seen videos in this country of people doing it.
I wasn't sure if it was allowed here.
I don't think it's legal. It's not legal in this country. I used to have a Merc that parked itself. That was freaky enough.
Yeah, I bet. Crikey. What about you, Chops? What do you think?
It's like
I could probably see it coming. You know what it's like with these nanny states. I could see them forcing people. You know, the technology's there. You're not. If you turn it off, then you can be fined. I could probably not anytime soon, thankfully. But I wouldn't be surprised.
It won't be our lifetime, surely.
Yeah. Another 30 years. Well, who knows? 20 years.
Mate, you just don't know, do you? You
just don't know. You just don't know how quickly these things are moving, do you? It's. I wouldn't be surprised.
Is there any chance of a tour of your garage, Chopsy? We've had one of RIchy's. Yours is looking pretty packed full of free merch. Well, not merch, but free stuff. Let's have a look around.
Have a quick look. You've got the H2.
Yeah.
You've got the H2 there. You've got it's a GSX S1000 back there. Let's have a look. There we go.
What's
GSX
that like, Chops?
It's all right, actually. It's a little bit. I rode it back in 2015 when 2015 when they first came out. Mm-hmm. And it was a bit snatchy, the throttle. It's still unfortunately a little bit snatchy.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but it's still a bloody good bike. You can get it for like $9,500 now, so they're an absolute bargain. You stick a power commander on it for £300, and it's absolutely sorted.
Suzuki have nailed it, haven't they, for pricing? I think they always seem to have been the ones for value for money.
Yeah, I mean it's 145 horsepower bike. It's still quick, and it's $9,500. It's
it's
very,
very quick, very quick.
We've got the 690 over here, which in negotiations with KTM about potentially.
You need to turn the headlight off because you're going to flatten your battery.
What, on the what? The KTM?
Yeah, is the headlight on, or is that just
it's just a reflection. I think it's just a reflection.
Reflection.
So we got that there. That's it, really. So I did have a Fireblade and an RSV4 in here as of Wednesday.
Jeez.
So it was a bit tight, but
have you got a couple of mini skirts hanging up at the back there?
No.
Mini skirts.
No, that's my garage door curtains. Garage door curtains, that is.
I thought I got one of those.
Guilt.
Wow. What goes on in TMF Towers? Nice. Right, gents, that is us. We have done all the Patreon questions, so thank you very much, folks, for leaving them. We've been on for 2 hours. Shall we do another 15 minutes? How's that sound?
Have we been on for 2 hours?
Well, yeah. Well, my clock showed 2 hours. 2 hours, 5 minutes on the GoPro at the moment.
I think we should go for the marathon. We should go for the record, Bruce.
9 hours later. Well, there are something like, I think it said 60 questions over on Instagram. So
maybe I regret saying that.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, we'll go for the first few and see how we do. So over to Instagram, TeapotOne, Insta.
I'll tell you what, Bruce. Have a quick skim and read of them and pick out the ones which classics.
Yes.
Have a quick skim read, pick out the classics out of them.
We'll talk amongst ourselves while you're doing it.
Right. Well, the likeable rider's on there, but we've all already answered him.
He's a good lad. He's a good lad.
Yeah. He's likeable, isn't he?
Here we go. Official Mystic Fest. See if you can rope in everyone for the hair grow challenge. That thing I was telling you about. We all shave our barnets tomorrow, and then you've got to leave it until, I think it's Easter Sunday or April. It might be April Fools, and then you see how much hair you can grow.
This is the best thing, Bruce. For those that don't know, Bruce really always comes up with the stupidest ideas. And this one is definitely up there. Mate, I cannot wait to see this one to fruition.
I think you should do it, Rich. Come on, shave that little barnet off. Come on.
No.
Not fancy it?
I'll sit and watch, and I'll enjoy it, though. I'll enjoy watching.
Right.
How come we never see Teapot without his helmet on anymore?
I've had the Coco the Clown look already.
Are you growing yours? You've always got your cap on now, Chops.
I don't think we've ever seen him without the cap, have we? I think we need to get the cap off. There should be some sort of a... Oh,
I think we have.
Oh, it's nasty. It's nasty. I'll put it back on.
The camera was all overexposed there.
It's pretty bad anyway with that lot behind me.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Arn on two wheels. Excited for this one, Bruce. Question for you all. Where are your favourite locations for a decent Sunday ride?
You're not pre-reading them, Bruce. You're not pre-reading them. You're going on to the next question. It must be a better one than that for the last 15 minutes.
There was just there was a load of people just saying they're looking forward to it.
Well, my peak district, well, not my peak district, but Edale is definitely my place to go for a Sunday.
That's lovely
blast,
up there,
right in the heart of the peaks. Took you there on the big little thing, and it's just beautiful. It is, really is.
You're so sport rich for great places to ride, though. Watching your videos of late, I mean, you've got such great countryside around them, haven't you? Where I live, it's just pants everywhere.
It is.
Well, Well, you're all right. I live on the south coast.
You'll have to. You boys
I can't go south. I've only go north, east, or west.
It's just the traffic down here. It's the traffic down here in the south. It's the traffic.
Yeah.
You boys will have to come up.
Everything.
Actually, John, I thought your videos recently showed some really lovely scenery. I was quite impressed. I thought I must come down and visit you. It looked lovely.
There's a few places, but it's a little bit limited. There's a couple of places you can go. I've got a couple of sort of routes, really, and it's like outside of that, without going too far afield, it's a little bit limited.
Right, next one.
You'll have to all come up north. Come up see me in the peaks, and
definitely.
We'll have a good weekend.
Definitely.
It's got the lurgy up north, though, isn't it? We're heading up there. We're all going to get ill.
That's true.
Next question. This is a good one. Motor Rev UK. How are you doing, guys? If you all had control over each other's channels for a one-off video, what would you do different with their channel, knowing their audiences? Ooh, that's a good one.
I think that butt plug would make more of an appearance in Andy's videos.
The what would?
The butt plug. The butt plug.
What did you say there, Chops?
I think that butt plug would make more of an appearance in Andy's video. A bit more prominent, I reckon.
It can't be much more prominent than me sucking it.
There's just going to be too much to choose, isn't there, for this trailer? It's just going to be Andy constantly. Cool. What would you do?
I was just going to say that butt plug has to come on tour, but that's probably not really the best thing to do, is it? Can I have a go tonight?
No, I'll skip that one. Thanks. Right, come on. What would you do different for each other's channels for one-off video? Oof. I don't know.
I think we'd have to do a video on RIchy's channel absolutely trashing the VFR, wouldn't we?
Well, come on, don't ever say that. That's horrible, just to even think that.
Just leaving it there as you ride any other bike out the garage.
We'd have to take all Andy's bikes Greenland, I reckon, and get them absolutely filthy.
Yeah, that's just
filthy.
You've got a green lane, haven't you? Have you not got a little off-roader? Have you got rid of that?
I might have used to have done.
Yeah.
All received.
Oh, yeah.
Sheesh. I don't know, because I think we all do our own.
No,
they're all similar, but we all have our own unique little style, don't we? Well, I think we do. I don't think personally all the channels are the same. They're all
definitely
slightly different in their own wee way.
No, not at all.
I can't think of anything a one-off video. I think maybe we just did a piss take. We all choose one of the other to do a piss take caricature of and do it in their style. That could be fun.
That would be quite funny. That
could be a bit of a giggle.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's maybe an idea.
In their style, yeah, that's good. Good idea. Do it as that person, definitely. Yeah. Good idea.
Watch this space. Something might come of that. Right.
I did quite like that idea of hijacking each other's channels. Actually, we should do a video for each other's channels. I like that, but we need to think about what we need to do.
Yeah, the takeover.
Yeah, that is good.
Let's do it. The takeover Tuesday.
Takeover day. Takeover day.
Tuesday's not a good day for
Tuesday, yeah.
We'll figure that out. Right. Let's have a look. Next question.
Chopsy can take over mine, though. I don't want you two on it.
I don't trust you.
Oh, this is a good one. Captain Pugwash. It's not a question, but he said the Westlife of moto vloggers. Desperate Dan's TeapotOne. Elmer Thud is TMF. Steptoe is Chopsy. And Elvis is RIchy. That's Captain Pugwash Rides. Cheers. Teapot, Mr. Smart.
Good lad as well.
How about a shave-a-thon done
take
by
issue
the other
with
three
Elmer
amigos?
Thud, by the way.
I knew you were. I knew you were going to let that go. I knew you were going to let that go without saying something about
There we go. Somebody else asking, Nickstale76, I think it would be good to see you lot doing something similar to a 44 teeth budget bike battle. Well, we've sort of talked about...
Have we not just done that? Something
we kind of have, haven't we? But
with the big little thing is kind of simple.
I don't see... I mean... If we were to do something like that, everyone would just be like, "Oh, you're just copying 44 teeth." It's like
you got to do something.
You've got to have your own. You've got to have your own ideas.
It's like we did bike versus planes, and people were like, "Oh, you're just copying Top Gear." And you're like, so we need to think of something else. I like the channel takeover.
I was going to say,
I think we should do
just
something
because we have the resources to do that.
And animals and lampposts. That would make a great video.
Find me a bear. Oh, blimey. there's just on Instagram, there's just loads of people saying how much they're looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, right, here's one. 333 Motovlog. My question, is there one bike that is a unanimous favourite amongst the whole crew? If so, which one? And it can't be the GS.
Yeah, I was going to say not the GS, not the GS.
I'll start. I don't know if it's just because I've got it, but I'll start with the Rocket because it has blown my socks off.
I've not ridden it yet. I can't say I've not ridden it yet.
Does it have to be one we've all ridden? Because I think we all agree the Rocket is pretty good. But,
I would say so. Yeah, I would say it has to be one we've all ridden. Yeah.
And we haven't all ridden the Goldwing because me and Rich love that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What about the Super Duke R? You've all ridden that.
I think we could probably all agree on the Super Duke R. Actually,
love that for a road bike.
I'm gonna have to go again. I'm still gonna have to go against the grain and do the GT though.
Are you?
No, that's a shame.
Does that still?
I preferred the Super Adventure.
Does that still fall in the same category, or?
I preferred the Super Adventure to the GT.
No, I love that GT.
For me,
the GT looks like a rhinoceros, doesn't it?
I know it doesn't look beautiful, but
you need to cellophane
it's still the same, almost the same. It's still the same performance as the R almost, but you've got the extra bits for touring.
I do like the GT.
You know, for getting up and getting out.
I think the R's where my heart would lie if we were dead to choose one. I think the
same
R
for me,
would be
definitely. Are we another beer? Blimey. Are we we're not on unanimous on that then, are we? Because you're GT, so
it's a Super Duke. It's a Super Duke, though,
almost.
It's a Super Duke. We just say Super Duke. It covers both, doesn't it?
Super Duke. Then. Again, KTM. KTM's coming out strong in this one, isn't it?
Yeah, I will say that since having the pleasure of and privilege of trying all these new bikes, which I love, obviously, KTM has really took me by surprise because I just can't believe how good they are. Really, it shocked me how good they are. It's a newfound respect I've got for KTM, definitely.
Even though mine broke down on me,
they were never really on my radar.
Like it, but. Yeah,
what do you mean, the bikes, Rich, or do you mean as a company?
Just the bikes, the performance, the level of workmanship in the bikes. They just feel different. They feel different gravy to me.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
There's a touch of.
I think.
There's a touch of class in there, definitely.
I think my favourite, if I look at all the bikes I love, I think the majority of them, averaging across all the different sort of makes, I think the majority of them would probably be KTMs. If you add up all the bikes you really love in each sort of genre, I think there'd be more KTMs in there than anything else. Yeah,
for the rideability factor, absolutely. But I still.
I don't know if you can see my sorry. I don't know if you can see my face going a different colour, but my light's about to fail, so that could be a little note to maybe knock it on the head.
Right, yeah, no problem. We're nearly done now. Anyway, talking to KTM, like KTM bottle openers.
KTM. I do quite like the old KTM.
I had one around here somewhere.
No bias here either. The KTM winners. I love them.
Thanks, Simon, if you're watching, for sending me mine. Thanks very much.
Well, I was just going to say, though, build quality wasn't an issue. I did think that was a bit outdated, but obviously I had an issue with the Super Duke R. And then I have got two mates who've had KTMs, and both of them have had issues with them. But these things just happen, and for me, it's how that is handled by the dealership, and I think that is still something. We're lucky because we deal with KTM UK, and they are brilliant. They are very social savvy. They're very pro what we do, which is awesome. But when it comes down to a dealership level, KTM are still struggling a bit there because there's still that discrepancy across the board. Some are brilliant, others are horrendous.
Well, I have a problem with this whole dealership thing.
This Super Duke behind me has never been wrong. I was saying the Super Duke behind me, privately owned Super Duke behind me, has never. He said it's never ever skipped a beat ever. So again, it's like anything. Everyone's going to have some form of issue at some point, but it's not. It's not just because it's that brand of bike where they have all the issues. It's the look of the draw, really.
KTMs and never had a problem. Never had a problem with any of the KTMs.
Yeah,
that's good.
Exactly. There you go.
Cool. Nice. That's good to hear.
And I think as far as dealerships are concerned, it's I don't think it's anything to do with the brand. It's down to the people that actually staff the place. So I've known great Triumph dealerships, great KTM ones, great BMW ones, and crap, all of those. So it's just down to the people, isn't it?
No, it's true. But I think things, for me personally, my experience, things like BMW, certainly, their corp identity, their corporate brand image is generally on the whole on point throughout. I know you had an issue with yours, but in my experience, it generally has been top notch. My local one's gone a bit downhill, so I just moved to another one, and I'm back to the same old standard that I expect, really, there. But I do know other local dealerships around here, multi-franchise dealerships, and the customer service is pretty damn shocking, to be honest, to the extent where it would be really easy for me to pop down the road and take some bikes out, but I won't go there because the customer service is so crap. So but, it's just a personal choice. Right, last one. Biker Bimble. Out of all the places you've ridden, what would you pick as your favourite road or area to ride? The one place that really sticks in the mind.
N621, easy.
Yeah? And the Picos?
Oh, no. Angeles Crest Highway.
Where's that?
Dropping down into Los Angeles. Los Angeles, United States, Bruce.
Have you been
Angeles
to the
Crest
States?
Highway. It's incredible. No, it really is. Like
nice.
you got really high altitudes, really twisty through the mountains, absolutely beautiful, and obviously you're dropping down into LA, so it's really definitely a special road, that one. One that took me by surprise. I didn't expect it to be anywhere near that good.
Nice. What about you, Chops?
Yeah, be somewhere in Spain. Somewhere in Spain, I think, because the Pyrenees, the day we did on the Pyrenees, just riding all day on roads which are fantastic. You just don't get that in the UK. You just can't get that in the UK. Just riding all day on amazing roads with no traffic on them. It's.
Do that North Coast 500 Chops.
I've heard a lot of really good things. That's why I want to do it, to be honest, because I've heard so many good things about it.
It's fantastic.
It's good. The North Coast 500 is good. It's some of the best you're going to get in the UK in terms of scenery, for sure. And the riding's...
But really, it's like anything though, Bruce. It's like anything though. The NC 500, the official NC 500, is probably better, as you'll probably agree, if you go a little bit off-piste.
Yeah. Well...
Not necessarily the tourist route.
The thing is, in a lot of those places, there is no off-piste because it's...
I was going to say the same.
That's
You're on
the only
road in the area.
Yeah, that is it. But I think the problem with the NC 500s, you've got to pick your time, because certainly during the summer, it's a conveyor... These days, it's a conveyor belt. It's just full of motorhomes, cars, bikes. So if you try and go off-season a little bit, then you get the best out of it. But then you run the risk of snow, wind, rain, that sort of stuff.
What's wrong with that? January, Africa Twin,
Rich, as long as he's got his Africa Twin, he's happy with that. Bit of snow, he's well up for
snow,
that.
yeah, all good.
No
all
problem.
Good.
No problem.
I think I'm with you boys. Northern Spain, I think. anywhere in the mountains in Spain. I used to think it was just the north, but there's some cracking roads up in the mountains in the south.
Yeah, there is. Andalusia.
Yeah.
Andalusia's incredible.
There's some great roads around there.
That Ronda Road is pretty good, isn't it? That's a good one.
It is.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not a bad road.
Spain is a fantastic place for riding, isn't it? There's so many good roads.
Whenever I hear or talk about the Ronda Road, all I can ever hear is Chops going, "Is this the Ronda Road? Is this the Ronda Road?
Went on it,
is this the Ronda Road?"
Oh, we did go on it when we Womble, when we went on the Ronda Road then, but I don't think we went on it when we were with you guys. Yeah, we did go on.
This is it.
Yeah, I think Spain just gives you your best. It gives you your best bang for your buck on the bike, doesn't it? Generally, the roads are fantastic. There's very little traffic.
Yeah.
The weather
Very
generally is good. Generally is good. You can get up in the mountains. You can get the odd wet day. And it's fairly close to home, isn't it? It's literally a 24-hour ferry ride, and bang, you're there. What about you, Andy? You didn't say.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, all things considered, Spain is probably the best bet because, like you say, weather and you can't go wrong with the roads. But I would also argue, close to home Wales is pretty flipping good. That road along the top of the Brecon Beacons, can't remember what the road number is, but that's amazing. That Top Gear used to use a lot. Again, we talked about the North Coast 500. That's amazing. And then anywhere in Norway, you don't have to go way up north to the Lofotens, but the Norway bulges out to the west, isn't it? Those bits if you go through Oslo and turn left, there's some amazing roads up there, and that
Fjord Norway
Atlantic way up there. That's an incredible road with some incredible
with the bridges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, the Atlantic Highway. Yeah.
But don't go to Norway if you like your speed, because you will lose your house.
50 miles.
Or indeed if you like your wallet full of cash.
Yeah, it's mega expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like a campsite over there, I think it was about 25, 30 quid for a night just to pitch like a tent type of place when I was there. It's mega expensive.
Bloody hell.
When we did it in 2015, and I tell this story all the time, like a six pack from the supermarket with 26 quid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We paid 60 quid each for a pizza there.
Crazy,
off the list.
crazy. But it makes you realise. It does make you realise how special a place
How much are
is.
the butt plugs? And on that note, right, that'll do us because I think there are something like 60 comments, questions.
I think we could probably just keep going, really. But
we could, but I'm not drinking, so
we won't.
I need a pee now as well. Right,
I'm on number 7.
You've been knocking them back, Andy. Bloody good effort.
Good. I'm into these desperados are bloody good.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, you'll not regret that. But
I've got a light day tomorrow. I'll be in bed all day.
I wouldn't include that on your how to lose weight video, Andy.
No, you're quite right.
I'm on. Sign me up.
I've been fairly good today, actually.
Blimey, is that your Glenmorangie?
I've only had a couple of whiskies.
Jesus.
Yeah, I've only had a couple.
Crikey. Right. Well, I think that'll do us, boys. Over to you. Anything you need to plug? Anything you want to chat about?
Harsh
I'm
notices.
not worried about anything
everyone-
you need to plug. Comment.
Go on, Andy. You plug away, Andy.
That's back to my OnlyFans page.
Brilliant.
Oh dear. Well, thank you very much for having us, Bruce.
That's all right. I'm sorry. I'm sober. I don't like doing these sober.
So are you, boring devil?
I know, it's crap, innit? Oh,
Let's
never
hope
mind.
me and Chops have bolstered up your figures a bit.
I say,
Yeah, cheers. Thanks. I'm giving up. Arsehole.
it feels like forever. It feels like forever since we've seen each other.
I know, it's been a long time.
What was it? March for us, Andy, and
It's February,
Yeah, we
wasn't it?
got
For all of us.
what-
Oh, no, you weren't there, Chops, were you?
yeah, for all of
Were
us.
you there?
I couldn't make it, could I?
Chops weren't there.
No, that's right. Yeah.
No, I wasn't. It was a shame. No, I couldn't make it. And then it's like I couldn't make that, and then this whole COVID thing hit, and it's like bloody, that was my only chance to actually get away this year, and I
I
missed.
know.
Yeah.
Doubly.
I mean, our
upset
original
about
plan,
it.
if you
crap.
remember, was we were all going to do a live stream from here, weren't we, today?
Yeah, we were, yeah.
We were
We were
going
going
to
to
be
be
at
at your place
that's
now,
it,
weren't
yeah.
we? Hassel
Yeah.
and Carol, but no,
Yeah.
can't even do that.
Shame.
I bet you're glad. As things turned out, Andy, I bet you're glad that didn't happen.
Well, as it turns out, I mean, my daughter was tested positive for COVID 2 weeks ago, and we all had to isolate. We're out of it now, and I don't know if you saw that bike shed video, or I don't know if they did a video, but they did a quiz thing that they put on Instagram. They got so much flack for it being for having so many people there. I just thought, actually, it's not worth the grief you'd get if you all got together, is it?
No,
exactly.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't. Obviously, I'm glad we didn't. But yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be getting a hug, I'll tell you that.
Myself and her indoors have been tested positive.
Oh, the
today
wife has
for
as well.
COVID-19.
Oh, mate. Oh, blimey.
She's got it. During this podcast, she came into the garage to say she's just had a result and that she's positive as well. Georgia, our daughter, she's negative, but so we had the test yesterday just as a precaution because a friend of ours has it. So I just thought, right, okay, I'm absolutely fine. We're all absolutely fine. I'm booking us in for a test. We went for a test. I would have put money on the fact that we're absolutely fine. And anyway, woke up this morning I had a positive test. Georgia's negative, and Laura's just had her positive, but no symptoms whatsoever until about 2 hours before we started this podcast, and then I started getting the full fever symptoms. Fluffy head.
Yeah.
So I've had the whiskey to try and
The hot toddies.
clear the airways a bit because
Let's hope it don't get worse.
Exactly.
Let's hope you don't get worse.
I know, mate. Yeah, I know.
All
exactly.
the best.
Yeah. I'm not being blasé about it or anything, but I feel all right apart from a bit of a
Rich.
bit of a cold, if you like. But
Rich,
yeah.
can I have your VFR?
Say again.
Can I have your VFR?
I've lost you.
Can I have your VFR?
Do you want me to leave it to you, Bruce?
Please, mate. Yeah.
In my demise.
Oh, God.
I cannot believe you went there. But I mean, I've got all these bikes in here. I've got this bloody Rocket GT that I can't even touch anymore.
Hurry up with the Rocket.
I've got to have
I
10
can't
days
have
now
that
without
till you
touching any
finish
of these
with it.
bikes.
Hurry up, wipe it down, give it a good wash.
Well, I sent.
It's in quarantine now. That's two weeks at least he's got that for.
Yeah, well,
it's just an excuse, I reckon. That's what he's saying, just so we can keep the Rocket longer.
Yeah,
Tell him he's got COVID, and then he can go out riding it, and then have to take it back. Sorted.
I'm going to phone up his
I'm
neighbours.
absolutely fine, yeah. I sent Triumph a message today explaining, laid it on a little bit. You know, obviously you won't be able to come and collect it. Hoping she's probably going to go, just keep it for a month. It'll be fine.
She's like, no, we'll come.
She's like,
we're
coming next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not telling the driver, but we're coming next week. Yeah. Right, lads, let's leave it at that. Thank you very much for coming on and having a chat. Sorry we can't do it in person, but obviously...
Yeah, pleasure.
This is a good second boost.
Thank you very much indeed for the invite.
Great fun.
It's been good fun.
No
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, definitely.
It needs to be a regular thing. Every couple of months or something. This will get
I
together.
reckon so. It's always
Every
good
10
fun.
years. Let's do it.
As a cuddler, I am missing cuddling you boys.
Not at the moment.
Oh, God.
Bugger
I'll
off.
give you a cuddle, Rich. There we go. Cuddle time, everybody.
Oh, it's Tommy left.
All right, lads, I'm sure we will
dear
chat
me.
very soon, but cheers for coming on and look after yourselves. Folks, hope you've enjoyed this one. Sober affair for me. I'm not used to this. I don't like doing these sober. But anyway, look after yourselves. Get on out there. Do your thing. Look after those that you love. But most importantly, live your life. Woo! Ah.